Can you dig it? Oh my word. We are backity back. I'm just going to change Rob's camera because there he is. There he is. His Big Phatts is there. Okay, good. Welcome, everybody. I am so glad that you can be here for this beginning of the very third season and the very first episode of such season of Waterdeep Mallrats Dragon Heist. Welcome. Yes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Exactly. So if you are in the chat and you're new to us being here, we love chatters, so please bung on, have a chat. We've got a lovely community that will just chat away. So please say hello, say hi. You don't need to lurk around in the background unless you want to, of course. But today we're going to be cracking on with something completely new for these guys, and as you can see, whole new setup as well. Okay. You see, I mean, do you guys like the new background? Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Look at all the things going on. Okay, we got some people saying they can't hear us. I don't know if we can hear anybody. We can't hear any audio from them. Only you, Joe. Only me. That's very strange. Give me a second. I'm gonna have a quick look. That is such a shame so far because they had so many good jokes. They were just chatting away. There we go. That's great. Sorry, guys. I had to do a couple of changes before the stream, mainly because Rob was late coming to our early kind of setup. So
not true. I was right here when I needed to be.
So hopefully now you guys can hear us. Yeah. Turned up.
First, everyone, can you hear us pass the buck to each other? Can you hear us avoid the blame?
Yep. I
think.
Hello. I think you can.
I think you can.
Thank you very much. This is RMZ. Thank you very much for following us. Also, thank you for the huge gifters that was going on of subs before we went online. Really lovely. So thank you, Mr. Sheffield.
Yes, Mark.
So exactly. So you say the most recent sub being Army Killer 666. Whoa.
Means business.
Means busyness. But yeah, so I guess you can tell we're pretty excited right now. We're trying to calm ourselves down, but we're not.
I'm not. I'm just. This music, man, in my ears. I'm here for it. I've been listening to it all week. It's been great.
I've returned to my usual callous demeanor for most things. So, congratulations, everyone. Good. Happy season 3.
I tell you what, though, Rob. I watched it. I laughed my head off. Congratulations for booking Baxter Baccarite. That was so good. Well done. It was almost worth being locked in Lolo Brow's basement for 2 weeks. I mean, working on a film for 2 weeks. That's what happened there.
We know you've got the scepter. We know.
I do. Yeah, I got the scepter all right.
Oh my word! Everyone's asking when are you gonna die, Rob?
Oh.
I mean, I said to Joe before I started, what's the point in writing a backstory when you don't get long enough to tell it? So.
Oh, You know what? That has made my day. I'm so sorry, Rob, but that has made my day. So far, the first point spent on this season has been giving me an advantage. That makes me incredibly happy.
Guys,
like,
come on.
How we're going on? How is this gonna happen? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we should probably crack on. As you're aware, for people who are here for the first time, we tend to kind of do a bit of a waffle.
We love waffles.
Oh, hang on.
Lovely waffle.
Waffle.
Oh, and here comes the DM disadvantage.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Just to just to balance everything out. You know.
So,
it's just seeing my face constantly turning up, constantly.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, so good.
That's you. So for anyone who has not a clue, who is new, who doesn't know what we're talking about, this is the interactive part of our stream. So when you watch, when you engage in the chat, when you follow, when you sub, resub, all the engagement things, you start accruing points. Down in the bottom of your chat, there's a little bomb icon. You click that, you've got a couple of options. You can give the players advantage on a roll. And we bank them so we could use them throughout. You could give the DM disadvantage, or you could do what Mr. Neomancer has done there and given the DM advantage and screw over the players. There is one other option. You can also throw your points into a little care package. We've been accruing this over a couple of weeks. When I watched Baxter Backlewright, I used all my points to fill up the care package. And when we get to that, there'll be like a big drop of some goodies that will help us out. So if you are new joining us and you wonder what the hell we're talking about, just click that little bomb icon on the bottom.
See what happens.
Find out.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, they cost absolutely nothing to you, and I think that's the most important bit. But so you just get them for watching, for chatting. So the more you chat, the more points you get as well. And those of you who've been subbed as well, you'll continue to make more points than everybody else, which is great. We also noticed a few new badges. So some of our older kin, they have now got a VIP badge, little diamond. So if you notice you've got a little diamond next to your name, that means you can break the rules a little bit and you can kind of put links up and stuff, which is really nice. I know.
Nightbot's not going to get you.
Oh, I killed Nightbot. He's gone.
You killed Nightbot?
Yeah, Nightbot is gone.
That was my original third character.
I knew it was coming, but it didn't make it any less brilliant.
I'm so lost in the chat. I don't know who's here. I just saw that Liam in the beard's here. I see that Mama Thorpe is here, which is great.
Shout out to Mama Thor.
Yeah, Mama Thor.
Alex Bell is here as well. Stuart.
Alex.
Yeah, I kicked Nightbot like that dog. Yes.
You are never going that down, Joseph.
It's fine.
Never.
But so we're starting this new season. Let's get back on topic. We're starting this new season, which is, as you can kind of guess from the kind of the music and everything else, we're going a little bit more B-movie sort of style with this one. Being Dragon Heist, being a heist. Some of you who know this adventure is going, a heist, you say? Yes, it is a heist. We have made this into a lovely little heist. So we're going to be kind of seeing these guys go from the slums where they were up to kind of the more upper class sort of areas of Waterdeep. So it'll be really interesting to see the other side of the city as they kind of search for a hidden stash of gold hidden beneath the city. More of those details will come through play, I'm pretty sure. But first, let's see how everyone's doing. So, Mr. Rob Thompson, you're looking beautiful. And as you were late, you were sort of last in, first out. So let's go with you. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Today's been a good day for me, and I'll tell you why. For months now, I have been searching on Amazon and Currys and Argos to try and buy myself a Nintendo Switch. Guess what arrived today? A Nintendo Switch.
Yes!
It's been a good day. It's been a good day for Barbody.
Is that why you were late? You were Nintendo switching.
Oh my god.
Switching.
No.
He will switch on you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right, look at that.
God.
Stitches.
I got The Witcher 3, Alex Bell, The Witcher 3.
Oh, that's a great
And I have no idea what it's like because I haven't played it yet.
If you like Skyrim, you're going to love Witcher 3.
Yeah, it's very, very, very good.
I'll have to take your word on it, Dan.
Yeah.
Again, haven't played it. Don't have a clue.
Show me your thumbs.
How are you, Dan?
I am doing very well. I'm really, really happy to be back. It's I tell you what though, it's weird working on a film set. Like you kind of forget like how like early starts and long days and like all the other stuff. Like it's lovely and the cast are amazing, like the crew are incredible. But there is a part of me, it gets to about 3 o'clock after lunch and I'm like,
You'd be waking up by now.
yeah, I'm like, who are all these people in my house? Why am I not in my PJs? I've become such a hermit. But yeah, it's been really, really fun. We've finished half the project. We're now on to the second half. But it's so good to be back, and I am really happy that none of the other shoot days are going to infringe on my Mallrats Mondays.
That's good.
But it was also really amazing to like see it as a viewer.
What? I've missed something. Oh no.
Alex Bell just put in Human Centipede 4.
Oh yes, Alex Bell. I can't believe Alex knew that.
Everyone.
How
knows
do you
that.
not
It's
know that?
So weird.
You'd recognise that face anywhere.
I have paused the trailer a few times just to be like, Dan, there he is.
Dan Butman, am I right? Hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got him, guys. Got him.
Got it. Smashed it. Kill him, Joe. Kill him.
I've already got a plan, don't worry.
I feel nothing anymore. I've got The Witcher 3.
Nothing's gonna bring me down.
Exactly. And say so you've been working on a film set, which is great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been outside and stuff, which is good.
I haven't been outside and things. I've been in. I hear there's a North London. I've been in North London. Like
Don't go north of London.
No, don't go north of London.
No.
Scary. That's no, but it's been so strange being around that many people again, but it's really lovely to see how the industry is bouncing back and how everyone's sort of like keeping up with their safety and looking out for each other. And it's removed quite a lot of like the bits about the industry that I didn't necessarily like. And it's become a lot more collaborative, a lot more cooperative. And I don't want the COVID side to continue, but I hope that everyone just starts being nicer to each other as a general rule. So yeah, it's been really amazing.
Nice. Good.
Lovely. That's nice.
And let's go over to the airport and see how you're doing, Evie.
Yeah, I'm doing really well. My week has been very, very good, thank you. So apologies for my laptop. It's dying slowly but surely. But apart from that, great week. Weather's getting better, nice and sunny. Went for like a 3-hour walk on Saturday. I don't know if that's technically allowed, but I was walking for 3 hours and it was wonderful. And today went into college because I have to go into college one day a week to do work for the students that are still going in at the moment. And they've got their lateral testing on. So I was like, shove that up my nose because I want to know if I've got COVID. And yeah, so negative, and that's just lovely. And it just feels like everything's we're all getting used to it a little bit more now. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's March. So happy March, everyone. We got through Feb. You're smashing it. Yay. So yeah.
Yeah, really,
It's
really nice.
awesome.
Seeing the old deaths out has been fantastic. It's like yellow flowers everywhere. This is really lovely. So that's quite good. Okay, good.
How are you, Joe?
Hey,
Nailed it.
Yeah, woo!
Nailed it.
that's
It was my turn. Fine.
But you're not dying this session, don't worry, mate. Yeah, pretty good. I think I've got like square eyes this week and literally I think I messaged Dan maybe 100 times a day over the last week trying to get that trailer ready. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I rewrote the entire thing yesterday. After somebody on a group sent me a document to read, and I was like, "Ooh, this is good. I'm gonna rewrite everything." So that was a panic moment yesterday, I must admit. But I'm feeling really great. I'm like, This is an adventure that I've wanted to run for quite a while, actually, and I've had it in my mind since the first season. I know, right? Oh,
We can't stop. Like, it's just the shoulders start going, and then like you can carry on, Joe, but we're gonna funk away.
But yeah, this is an adventure that I've been wanting to run for a very, very long time, and I think since the first season, I've had this in my mind as season 3. So this is kind of the exciting. Everything's kind of coming into head, as I say. I'm really excited to kind of see what Baggi, Pups, Oshi, and our now new friend Big Phatts is going to do, and how they're going to deal with this kind of conundrum or enigma, as some might call it. But I think it'd be really nice. Is like we've got a bit of time before Gabby gets here, so I thought maybe we can do a little update of our characters, because there's a few people that arrived that's never been here before. And I thought it'd be really lovely if we talk about the characters and do a little bit of an overview of what's going on. We are going to talk a little bit about highlights from the past. So if anybody in the chat has any highlights of the person that we're talking about, bang them in chat, and then we'll talk to them afterwards about it and see what they come up with as well. So let's start with Dan, with Pups.
Oh, I'm just having a little jazz out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah. So yeah, I said yeah. So Pups is no, I won't. Oh, I can't keep that up the whole time. So Pups is a goblin, now level 1 monk. We started this entire adventure as 8-year-old kids in the Castellanta's Institute for Unfortunate Children. I've been wearing this on the film set. All unfortunate children in an orphanage, not having a particularly great time and sneaking out to the Yawning Portal to imagine themselves as heroes. Pups is a goblin who thinks he's 8 feet tall, wants to be everyone's hero, very quick to anger, and it got him in a fair few scrapes in season 1, constantly fighting with the bully group, even arguing with his friends about who gets to be the bigger hero. And then, whilst trying to save everyone, nearly got sacrificed to the 9 hells after a giant mystery was unveiled, and all the teachers turned out to be demons. So little 8-year-old Pups made a deal with the devil to save his own life and the life of his friends. He bargained his life and the life of his friends, or the willing souls of the Castellantas, in exchange to live another day. He came back from the 9 hells, having struck that deal, to immediately make his first kill, Professor Albus Sibler, and everyone fled away from the Castellantas Institute. In season 2, Pups had a really, really rough time. Started off as a bit of a pariah. Pour one out for Albus. Don't do that.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, he had a really torrid time. The street kind of turned against him. He had to watch poor Tunk die in his arms. And
Tunk died?
more on that later.
You didn't know.
Tom doesn't know.
And yeah, it was. And so with Tunk dying, realizing that one of his friends is now a servant of Asmodeus in the 9 hells, you can imagine that probably hit him quite hard. He's had a lot of trauma in his life. But he had a real redemption story last year, kind of real, like, that really sort of set into, like, how he's not going to worry about who people are, what people think of him. Sometimes he's going to be a hero. Sometimes he's going to be a monster. But the important thing is he's going to protect his friends at any cost.
Mm-hmm. And he's pretty good at cleaning bricks as well.
Yeah, he met himself a monk sensei. He met a lot of people in season 2. He found his brother, who he thought he'd left and lost in the Castellantas. So much has happened, guys. Catch up and watch it back. There's so much. And he met a monk who he initially wanted to punch in the face but couldn't because they were too fast. Did a little bit of training, and then that same monk and the entire monastery of Darn. Mm-hmm. Came back to fight in the grand battle at the end of season 2, the Battle of Blackstar Lane, where we reclaimed our street. So Pups has gone down the route of the monk, and I'm really excited.
That feels like such a long time ago, doesn't it?
What? But our street.
So now Pups is part of the Warriors of Darn, which is freaking sick name, if I ever did say so myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very much cool. And yeah, so if anybody in the chat's got any sort of like what they would say is a pups highlights of the last two sessions. I mean, guys, yeah, I think everyone's now telling them that we started at level -4 because I am a bastard. So Evie and Rob, stop dancing and tell me what's your kind of highlights of pups? Was there any that you can kind of think of?
Stealing a watch from Afa Blade.
Literally
Oh
out
my
the
God.
dead body, yeah.
That was so good. I think one of my highlights of Pups is just the sheer enthusiasm he brings all the time, and also how he really does make Baggi question her morals. There's been a few conversations where she's been all high and mighty, and Pups has literally just cut her down. There was quite a nice conversation at the end of series 2, which was great. But yeah.
I also liked how he got his ass handed to him every time he tried to fight Justin when we were still kids
Oh yeah.
in the Castellantra School for Unfortunate Children.
Yeah. To be the first one there ready to go and fight Justin, but also the first one to be knocked over.
Ass whooping.
But,
Yeah.
Poor
So
Pups.
Pups went from not being able to hit anyone and constantly being hit to be able to now hit 3 times in a round and never get hit. So he's chosen well.
And he's also
thank you.
He's also uber healthy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so we talked about this. So like Puggle, when he met Puggle, when he discovered him again on a nearby street, Puggle gave him an amulet of health, which immediately boosted Pup's constitution up to 19. So he's now made of hit points and super healthy. So we'll see how that sort of plays out in the rest of this season, because now he's a bit of a beast. Bit of a beast, but also still 3'6".
Exactly.
Terrifying. Genuinely terrifying.
All right, well, let's have a chat with Baggi. Let's talk about Baggi for a little bit.
Little Baggi. So Baggi is a half-orc level 1 artificer. Her first 8 years of her life was very much being stuck in a basement at her father's abode, not really seeing anyone or anything like that. Living for books, living for bugs, and then like Pups was taken to the Castellantis Institute for Unfortunate Children, where it was interesting for her. She enjoyed the schooling. She didn't like Justin and his gang. Was probably very, very socially awkward pretty much throughout, and got herself in a little bit of trouble. She had a bit of a rebellious streak, I think, after meeting the other 3 of the Monster Bunch, and quickly learned that if you try and rebel or stand up for yourself, then it's going to end badly. She got very badly burnt by the previously mentioned Albus. And then since then, obviously, we had to run away, didn't we, from that terrifying school. And about 10 years later, when she was 18, she found herself working for Honest Price's pawn shop, where she would fix up people's trinkets and things, and also occasionally make exact copies of such items to potentially sell on to other people or just keep for herself. And while she was there, obviously we've heard a little bit about Tunk and everything, but while that all happened with Tunk's passing, she was taken away in the middle of the night by the order of magics and protectors, because she indeed discovered that as well as being able to fix things and understanding how things works and all that kind of jazz, she also had some magical abilities. Word got out, of course, as everything does on Blackstar Lane, and she was taken away. While she was there, we haven't actually seen very much of what's happened there, but maybe we'll explore that a little bit in Series 3. Maybe. I don't know. We shall see what happens. But while she was away, she realised, I think, as well, that order and corruption pretty much exists everywhere in the entire city. And she heard the news of Tunk while she was away, who passed away. And that was kind of that fueled her to go back to Blackstar, to see what on earth was going on, and of course to be with her remaining friends. And yeah, she came back with a vengeance. So I think she's got a real vendetta now against any kind of authority, because I think she just assumes that it's corrupted, you know, and that really everyone is being controlled in some way. That's what she's thinking. She's very suspicious and very, very excited about all the things that she can do.
Yeah,
she's a nerd,
right?
basically. Yeah, big old nerd.
There is so much you can do. In fact, I'm slightly terrified of like the amount of stuff that you will end up being able to do. Like, I won't need disadvantages. I won't need disadvantages because, you know, you're gonna hit me with everything you've got.
As long as you don't die. But if there's stairs anywhere, any stairs, Maggie's down. But yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my big kind of favourite moments. Oh my god, we're just testing. I think Heavens Bevins is testing our Streamlabs bot to see what language you can get away with. But I think So I think one of my favourite things is her coming back, which was super duper cool. But I think there was actually one of my favourites is still with the fleas and having the fleas available. And talking to Grak, who ended up being a demon.
That was heartbreaking. Yeah, Grak, this groundskeeper Grak, who was an orc who would always sort of talk to Baggi and say, like, be proud and everything, and then turn out to be a demon. Oh, it was hell. It was hell. He was like a father figure in a way, I guess. But so sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's not forget Baggi's explosive return.
Little acorn bomb. Yeah, that was cool. I also really enjoyed when she refused to sit in that chair at school. That was that first moment of like,
Proud orc.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Badass, I think.
I agree.
Can't get downstairs though.
Can't do stairs. Up or down.
Well, going from one person who enjoys like bugs and science and the way things kind of change and decompose and go into different things and die and fall over and get up again and then die and fall over again. I think it might be a good thing to have a little chat with talk about Big Phatts. Who's how many characters is it now, Rob? Sorry.
I'm gonna keep this as short as most of my characters seem to live. 3. Third character, Big Phatts. I mean, don't get to know him, guys, because he might not be around for very long. He's a war-forged barbarian. He's got a southern drawl. Because I'm running out of accents at this stage. This is just becoming more and more difficult. He's a cigar shop owner, and we don't really know much about him, to be honest, apart from he was pretty livid that his shop was burnt down by the Blades, or was it the Watchers? Who knows anymore? Both situations have resolved themselves. Before that, old Arbor Killick was my character. Oh, bah! And he's dead now as well. And before that, old Tunk. He's dead now. Well,
I felt that in my bones.
I think Perguration has said Tunk has died twice, and he has. So talk us about the first time Tunk died.
First time Tunk died was in his imagination, which, if you've watched Inception, should have been a real death.
Yeah, really bad.
Tunk died when we were in the Yawning Portal as children, and we were imagining ourselves going through the Sunless Citadel. It was the Sunless Citadel, wasn't it? Yeah. Which at the climax and at its conclusion, a large tree stood holding some magic apples. And after most of the party died, Tunk sacrificed himself to save his good friend Urki, the small gnome. Big shout out to Urki. Kurt Clark, if you're here, big love. The second time Tunk died, Tunk was participating in a big prize fight on Blackstar Lane. He had found out that his parents had passed and they had died long ago, but he was unaware of it, which sent him into a bit of a rage, which then caused him to tell the Blades that they can go and do one.
Whoa.
I know. I didn't mean to take it there. Which then resulted in his hand being hurt, which meant that he struggled to do this fight, but still won regardless. And when all of the crowd surrounded him, chanting his name, some sneaky little fucker came in with a poison dagger and stabbed him in the side, which then sent him into kind of like illness and sweats and kind of coma-esque, resulting in his sad, tragic death, where if you watch that back, all of us are weeping open on camera.
Yeah.
Such a
And
4 hours.
Sure, yeah, and many viewers as well, I think, were
Yeah.
also weeping. Everyone was weeping. The world wept.
There's so many greatest Tunk's moments. I think everything from having his sweet stolen from Agnew's kids, through to finding out his parents had died. Spoon.
Or upset she was crying.
The spoon.
The spoon.
Spoons.
You know, seeing himself in the face one way and then the other way.
Thinking he was magic.
There's so many with Tunk. But hopefully...
It was just the gorgeous innocence. He was so innocent and so wonderful. Yeah.
So we have this kind of big open heart from Tunk into this ragey robot that is Big Phatts. So I think it's going to be super fun and super interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah,
really great. If anybody else on the chat's got any kind of great either Arbor, Tunk, or Big Phatts moments, actually there are a few Big Phatts moments, because Tunk also saved Big Phatts as well. This is really important, actually. This is a really important point.
When Big Phat's shop was set alight and was burning, Tunk decided the best thing to do was to douse himself with water and then run into the flames, where he found a collapsed Big Phat's, who weighs like several tons. And thinking the fastest way out of the building was to jump from the second-story window carrying Big Phat's, and hoping that a situation would resolve itself when he got to the bottom, which it did. Big Phat's lived because of Tunk.
And what's he done now because of that?
Well, Big Phat's has joined the party now.
Yeah.
And has kind of sworn allegiance to the party as a way of... Tunk gave his life for Big Phat's, and Big Phat's will give his life for friends of Tunk.
Exactly.
He carries with him two axes, one with a shepherd on it and one with a sheep, because Tunk loves sheep.
This is one question.
Tunk the shepherd.
This is one question I've always wanted to ask. Thank you very much, the Fizzlekins. I really appreciate the follow there. Just a question, Big Phatts. What does Big Phat's face look like? Because I think this is something that a lot of people think about when it's got the Warforged. Because Warforged are like robotic constructs, aren't they? They're like robotic men.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the face look like for you?
So Big Phat's face, I see it as... if anyone has watched Full Metal Alchemist, that manga, like it's a kind of rusted steel face, almost cylindrical, but the cylinder goes almost cone-like. So he's got a wider jaw than he does a forehead, and then two like slits in the eyes, which offer no light or sign of life. However, his mouth is in a permanent smile with a gap in his teeth here that is meant for cigars.
What was the kid's name? It's Alphonse and who from Full Metal Alchemist?
I can't even remember now.
Did you tell me his name's Alphonse?
His name's Alphonse, yeah.
No way.
No.
Yeah. Alphonse, and maybe the chat can help me out, any anime fans, but it kind of sounds like a mixture between that and Bender from Futurama.
Maybe the spirit inside Big Phat's is actually the spirit of Tunk. Maybe.
Well, if you know where I'm heading with Big Phat's if we get to level 3, which is unlikely for a character of mine, then it may have something to do with Tunk down the line. But we'll see where that goes.
I'm just really happy to see that Mama Thorpe's telling Dan off.
What did I do?
He says,
what did I do, Mama Thorpe?
Pups are
better watch out.
Pups are better watch
out.
out.
What if Big Phat's finds out about Tunk in hell? Pups better watch it. Yeah, so when not only did Pups see his friend die, but then we also role played a moment where we thought Tunk was absolutely okay, and then he fell into the 9 hells and was greeted by Asmodeus. And yeah, that was a really fun last final minutes of a 4-hour cry sesh that was that session. We had a lot of fun there, and also there's been a lot of stuff on the chat of people saying how broken they were from that episode, how much they loved Tunk, how much of a big heart he had. And also thank you, Fizzlekins. It was Edward. Edward was the brother from Full Metal Alchemist, the brother who was consigned to the and
he sounds like a child. He's got a proper child's voice.
I think we might have to do like a watch together and do some and watch Full Metal Alchemist together. That'd be quite fun.
Oh, yeah. We've still been asked to play what's that fucking game called?
Among Us.
Together, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is also true. So
I don't have time for
all
guys.
the things.
We're never going to see Rob again.
This is busy. This is clogging up my schedule right now. This season 3.
There's also we've got to schedule this, and I suppose also you got to schedule your Switch time with Gabby as well, because otherwise you're like.
No, I absolutely do not. No. No, I do not. She knows where the fridge is.
Oh my good lord. Oh wow. I think
just waiting for it to just pop on.
I know, I'm only saying this because she's not here right now.
Yeah.
I'm in so much trouble.
Hashtag Gabby kills.
Exactly. And again, I'm sorry that we're still chatting and not jumped into the game yet. We will get there, I absolutely promise, but I don't want to start until Gabby gets here, because I think that's only fair. I don't think it would be a good idea to just go, oh yeah, we started. Oh Gabby, here you are, let's jump in and start.
Well, Joe, what's your highlights been from the last couple of seasons? Because you've obviously seen it from a different way. You've seen it from like having a plan and then watching us fuck with it royally, so you have to try and like spin us round. Like you've seen us go through, like, for anyone who hasn't joined us since season 1, like the first week, not only were we kids, we also had like a Rugrats thing going on where we'd go into some of the Yawning Portal modules and imagine ourselves as adults. So we did a couple of them. How's it been for you, Joe? Because with the exception of this has been mostly homebrew, right?
Yeah. So I think my highlights have been Tunk dying the first time, Tunk dying the second time. I think also Tunk finding the portal and accidentally opening the portal to the 9 hells the first time and losing Claude. So that was a lot of fun. And I think also playing, role-playing Alphonse. I had a lot of fun playing Alphonse and Henry the dog as well. But I think Alphonse was horrible. Like really, really nasty. I think also the scene, I can't remember his fucking name, the noble that Pups killed. That scene with him and Oshi, and it was like really clear that there was something up there, and then Pups was like, "Do you want me to kill him?" It just went off and flat murdered him in the
just
street.
Disappeared.
I really loved that. That was like, you know, when you play a horrible character and you're like, well, someone just put this fucking fucker down, and then someone does, you're just like, oh, that feels nice. But yeah, but mainly I'm sort of more excited about kind of seeing what happens from here, really, and see where we kind of go. And I think hearing kind of the music and hearing kind of what style we're going for, I'd be really interested to hear you guys of like, what do you think is going to happen in this season? And people in the chat of like, if there's anything that you think you would like to see happen in the chat as well. That could be quite fun to kind of hear. So like, let's start with Evie. Have you got any kind of thoughts of like things that you're expecting from this season?
Well, I'm really expecting like a complete sort of transformation of all of these characters at some point, whether that's based on lust for money or power, or like how we might change if we, and as we hopefully go up the ranks a little bit into higher society, because like we said at the start, we've not come from that place. Like we've really had to work our asses off to even be level 1, people. But no, I just think, yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. And I'm kind of interested to see if there's any confrontation between the group, maybe necessarily cropping up. maybe like morality will come up as a thing. And also there's just been so many unanswered questions, you know, like the whole way. Like we still don't know, like Oshi and Baggi don't know about Asmodeus. They have no idea. Is that going to come out this season?
Yeah, I think it has
maybe.
I mean, it has to, doesn't it? Like,
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see that too.
So there's a lot, and there's some like personal vendettas of Baggies as well that I personally really want to explore, but we're just gonna see how it goes. I'm just really excited.
Because it's also this thing of like Baggi's family, like the Phalans, are a noble, powerful family in Waterdeep as well. So like, are we gonna cross over days? I mean, is something going to happen there? Like, ooh,
oh my god, I would absolutely love to see Baggi confronting her father, Airtoth.
Oh my god,
that would be sick. And also for anyone who wasn't here for series 1, sorry, there is something that happens with Baggi's mum, but we do not know what it is. Oh, and we have a Gabby.
Oh my
and here's Baggi's mum. No,
classic casting. I always get the mum. Love it.
Okay, I'm just going to get you set up because I haven't got you set up yet. Where are you?
Rolled so high. Come on.
So
fingers crossed that this is working now. I'm real desperate. Yes, that sounds better. I can hear it.
Yeah.
So that's
are we
a good
back?
thing. I think we're back.
Amazing.
Guess who's
Guys, thank you.
Thank you for your patience, everybody. Really appreciate it. Right, let's get into it before we lose anything. Oshi, you were just saying you were introducing yourself.
Oh, yeah. So highlights from the time between season 1 and season 2. So those 10 years. I think she really got her abilities to get into situations within a higher maybe level than her really well. She's able to talk herself around. She's kind of stealthy, and I think she's really good at stealing money off rich dudes, which is like the dream anyway. And then season 2, I think she discovered really severe loss and pain, and then real want for revenge, and that came in the form of poison. And she wants to flip and use it all the time now, and inject it into her veins because she's actually immune. So YOLO.
Why the fuck not?
Why not? Just pump poison into your veins. Don't do that, everybody. That's not a good idea.
Could turn into pain.
Oh wow, yeah, you could do.
So yeah, that's Oshi in a nutshell, I guess.
Well, of course, you've also did some great killing as well. I mean, you killed somebody with your moo and with a kiss, which was absolutely freaking awesome.
Kiss of death.
It was the coolest thing I've ever heard / imagined in my brain. It was so good.
Yeah, she loves to kill. she really has. Now that spot's been kind of scratched, that itch has been scratched. She's really mad for it. And yeah, the poison kiss is something that she's probably imagined loads in her head. You know, as you're falling asleep at night, you're like, what's the coolest thing I could ever do? And then she had the opportunity to do it, so she just did it.
Nice.
But yeah, the killing and her how gruesome she can make it as possible. It's all a show. She likes the idea of people looking at her and her performance skills and everything. She loves that. So the more gruesome it is, the better for her.
Nice.
And me.
Nice. All right. Well, we've spent a bit of time, so we're going to get straight into it. I think it's probably the best call. Yep, so let's go straight into this. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try something new. We're going to do a montage, which is something I've done in my old games. And we're... Who's that? Who have we just got lurking? Oh,
Zach's Big Wave.
Ah! Can you give a shout out to Zach's Big Wave for me, please, Dan? But yeah, absolutely. Like, I think we're going to try this montage with something we do in our other games, which we have a theme song, and then we cut to different scenes of the characters, so we can see a little bit about them, little bits that they've kind of done, and so we can learn a little bit about them. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Great. So what we'll do is we're gonna go Big Phatts, Pups, Oshi, and Baggi. Okay. So all you need to do is when you get to the end of your thing, you say cut to. All right. So I'm going to give it a start. So let's stop that music for a little bit so we can get into this.
Oh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited!
So we see a soaring eagle. This beautiful, long, brown and golden and white feathers flickering in the drafts of the wind as it flies high above the Sword Coast, spinning around the mountains, across the great forests, as it comes through and around and hits that salt air and soars upwards. It begins to come down through the air as it flows through, majestic and beautiful. And suddenly, it hits into a weather vane. As the camera moves down, as we see a goblin, a warforged, a yuanti, and a half-orc walk into the pub of said weather vane, the Yawning Portal. The camera pushes through the streets itself as we go past a gaggle of men as they're running towards each other and fists are slacking through the air as blood is spraying into the camera and the droplets smack onto the actual lens itself as it pushes through to another pub. And we see a pub with a big dragon on the side as two well-dressed gentlemen walk in. Cut to
a close-up shot of a cigar burning down to the end as the ash falls from a robotic mouth down past a Goliath-like chest and onto the floor as a sentient warforged foot places its weight over the ash and sits down at a table, raising a hand to the barmaid for 4 glasses of fire whiskey. Cut 2.
A beaten, bloody, yet victorious goblin takes a look around the burnt-out house that was his own for a number of years. A flick of his hand, and as he turns away, just you see the slight hint of a rusted badge or pendant. He's covered in blood. And as he walks down the stairs, the camera sort of holds and then pulls back onto the one remaining wall survived by the fire. And in crimson, it just reads, "Our Street." Cut to
a close-up of a Yuanti's lips taking the last sip of whiskey out of a glass. Her eyes flash as the camera pulls back and she notices the 2 well-dressed gentlemen. She looks them up and down, smiles into her glass and stands up. A little bit bruised, a little bit bloody, but ready to perform once again to get gold for the team. Cut to
a very, very tired looking half-orc covered in dust and rubble and stinking of fire and gasoline reaches into the pocket to feel a spyglass, and she feels a burning in her hand and her chest. She grabs hold of it tightly and then stares directly at the 2 gentlemen. Cut 2.
2 gentlemen walk out of the bar, but one is very different. They're swaying drunkenly, and suddenly a bag goes over their head and they're dragged kicking and streaming into a cart. The camera goes down through the city until it's in front of a large, massive, ancient door as we go through like ghosts to see a chamber filled with hundreds and thousands of dragons. Ooh-wee.
Oh. Doing that to
So-
funk music's well fun.
So, we left you guys actually in the Yawning Portal itself. Okay, so as you kind of gone into the Yawning Portal, you guys have sat down, and there was 4 cheese sandwiches over at the table, and there's loads of other like glasses that are kind of from other people, and you kind of pick them up and move them over out of the way, and you kind of sit down in this pub that you have idolized for all your life, really, and now you're finally allowed to kind of sit in it. You look over in the corner and you see a bard, and he's got a lute with 3 strings on it, as he sits there and he turns around to his whole band and he goes, and they start playing. And they play this kind of like really kind of jazzy track in the background as you kind of sit down. Big Phatts, you pull out that big cigar case of yours and you strike it off the side. The whole place is like humming and like full of noise. So people are betting in the corners, people are drinking, and over there there's like these really well-dressed rogues and bards over in the corner with martini glasses. That you can see behind the bar is this just gentleman with a huge, like, big curled moustache and like huge arms. I mean, like trunks of arms. It almost looks like he's exploding out of his shirt, and he's there serving the drinks. He's got cigarettes in his hand, and it's like almost every time he puts one out, another comes out of the packet into the mouth as he lights it again. You see there's loads of action, but there's something that you see that's more important than anything else in the whole of the Yawning Portal, which is the portal, the hole, the great well in the center. You guys have remembered seeing this as children, or more seeing the other side of it, the outside, as you saw those walls inside the basement. And you see there's a great bucket that kind of hangs over the side. I think all of you know that this is a portal or a way, a doorway into the Undermount, underneath Waterdeep, and you know it's a legendary kind of test if somebody can go through and survive. One of the only kind of make people to really come back unscathed is the person that's behind the bar, Turner. As he sits there, he puts his cigarette out, picks up a cheese sandwich, and sort of munches on it. And you guys kind of sit down together. And before you've even asked, this woman kind of comes over to you, and she takes all the glasses and puts down 4 big pints. Pups, it looks like for you, like holding a bucket. You know that scene in Lord of the Rings? They come in pints. It's that kind of thing. They're just this ginormous thing. As you kind of sit there together, and you kind of look across at each other, given everything that's kind of happened. I think what we've got is like Pups is sitting across from Oshi and Baggi sitting across from Big Phatts. Big Phatts, I'm guessing you've just pulled out a massive cigar.
I'm not really one for eating, but I think we should maybe toast to our victory.
And he raises his glass.
Pups picks up with both hands and like just before it hitting his lips just goes bucket, bucket, bucket.
And you hear somebody aside going, oh, bucket, bucket, and it sort of like starts to kind of wriggle out, and everyone's looking around going, who's calling for bucket? And you see this kind of guy stand up and go, oh, go for bucket, and he sort of like stands up almost drunk on the sound and the power of somebody's sort of, you know, that moment when someone claps and then it kind of ripples through, everyone's clapping. So he kind of runs over, and literally Durnan is just like, no. No. You're way too drunk. And he's like, shut up, I can see it. And Durnan just grabs his face and just sits him down and puts a cheese sandwich across to him. And the guy kind of he picks up and he starts eating the cheese sandwich.
Well, you've been here before then, is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
I once threw someone down that hole. That sucker didn't come up.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
When was that?
Yeah, a couple of years back. I'm a changed bot now, though.
Huh, good to know. What did that fella do then?
He owed me some money. Doesn't anymore.
And I just sort of see that Big Phat sort of slaps his knees, he laughs.
Yeah.
Perfect smoke rings every time. Perfect intervals between the smoke rings.
Who's paying for these drinks?
I am.
Okay, as long as someone is. I don't want to be in anyone's debt, although it seems pretty dangerous to be in yours.
Y'all save my life is the least I can do.
There's a silence goes across the table at that.
This doesn't feel right.
Are you buying the drinks?
No,
No.
that feels fine.
Yeah. Just being gone from the lane, it all happened so fast. It just doesn't sit right with me. We shouldn't have gone. Shouldn't have gone.
Well, then when would you leave?
I don't know.
You're just a little home bird, aren't you?
I don't even know where home is.
Well, it might be time to find a new one.
And I think the bit that Big Phatts kind of raises his glass towards everybody.
Cheers to success.
As your glasses sort of clunk together, you suddenly hear from like a table just across the way from the well. You suddenly hear, "Oh yeah, you want to kill my kind, do you, you pig?" And so someone picks up the table and flips it, and you see this fist kind of come in and smack into the face of this half-orc woman. There is 5 of them who then jump on her. She looks fairly like she could handle herself. However, this is a very unusual situation. And what you kind of see is, yeah, she's about 7.5 foot tall. She's just sort of been swung at by these kind of human males. He's got like a shaven head, and his whole head is completely covered in eyes across his back. And then suddenly, yeah, you see everyone kind of jumping in, and she's literally on her own, kind of going for the fight. What is it you guys want to do?
Straight over.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
immediately straight over.
like-
I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's go straight into it then, please. Can you roll some initiative?
Straight into initiative.
Yay!
Alrighty. So here is
Oh
the
my God,
Yawning
Clinton!
Portal.
Chance to get
That's
drinks.
so
Very,
good.
very, very nice. Okay.
We'll down it for you, Gabs.
So let's get Gabs added so I can put that in for you.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Well, the guys are all coming in. Oh, great rolls there. Double 11s. So 23 was it, Oshi?
Yeah.
Yes, Oshi!
Yeah.
Okay,
Legend!
let's do Yagra.
Just realised I'm on the wrong game.
Oh, no!
Oh, mate. Oh, Yagra did really well. She rolled a 1. Well done.
Is Yagra the half orc?
Yeah, she's the half orc in the middle. And the
Oh,
bandits, they really rolled very well, in fact. As you kind of like push your chairs back, 3 strings in the corner, it's just like, ooh. And he kind of looks up and he's like, okay, cool. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And he kind of plays into a track, and they just like kick into this disco track. As you guys kind of see, we're going to go into here, and we'll start the battle. Oshi, you see them kind of lay in, and you see the first punch being hit. The gentleman that kind of hit them first was this one here. And he's the first one to get hit, Yagra. You have a chance to kind of get over there if you wish.
She's going to use her. Here's a way for her to. She's going to use her short bow and get the guy that just hit. She doesn't have sneak attack though, does she?
Not at this range, no, unfortunately not, because you're not hidden or anything.
Yeah.
But she does. Don't they have a foe within 5 feet?
No,
Well,
because you don't know Yagra.
Ah, okay.
Okay, we've got a Noah. Okay, cool. Well, is there a way? Can I move to here? How do I do that? Oh no, I'm on the wrong thing. Could I move to here, hide, and then shoot?
Yeah, give it a go. So you want to do a stealth check, and I'll do a check on these bandits. Let's have a look. What's their passive? All right, do a stealth for me.
18.
Yeah. So you kind of roam around the side, and you guys just see her kind of leap off the table. And I think with Oshi, it's that kind of whack kicks in. The whack idea kicks in. This is a woman who's being attacked. Like cadet Oshi kicks into gear, and you kind of run to the side and you hide into the side there.
And so she's going to go for the person who punched Yagra first with her short bow, which is 22.
Oh my good lord! Yes, that hits.
Hits for 7.
Great, and that's with the short bow.
Sorry, yeah.
So you kind of like. And it kind of runs across and it kind of hits into his shoulder, and you see there's another eye shape on his arm, and he kind of goes straight into the eye there. He's like, "Ugh!" And he kind of looks up and looks around and tries to figure out where it's coming from. But I don't think he can actually figure out where it comes from, can he? Because you're skulker feet.
She's a skulker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he looks across and he can see you guys stood up, and he kind of like, he just goes, "Back off!"
There's no battle map apparently. Sorry to cut off.
Oh. It's because I need to go to the other screen.
We good?
You're just too excited.
We're too
We're so
excited.
excited, guys.
I'm so sorry,
excited.
guys.
Thank you for flagging.
Thank you for that, Bevins. I really appreciate it. So Oshi's over here, just so you guys can see. She just hit this dude here. And he's literally just like shouts over, and it's just like, "Everyone back off! This is Xanathar business! Back off!" And he then goes in to hit Yagra. However, because he's been hit with a weapon now, he pulls out his scimitar and is starting to become a little bit more bloody. And he goes in for his first attack, and he hits her for 6 slashing. And you just see the scimitar like slash across. And people are like, "Whoa!" And sort of like, this is now getting a little bit out of hand. The others then start to jump in. And they all go in with their attacks. They're not going to use scimitars, but they're going to come across the scimitars. So they're going to go in with their fists. So 1, 2, and 3. Right, well, one of them hits. 2 of them hit for a total of 10 damage as they kind of start wailing into her. And Yagra's looking pretty screwed over right now. Baggi.
Baggi is going to get out her lighter that she's been using for ages. She gives it a little test and it doesn't work, so she runs over to this table, picks up some whatever looks like the most alcoholic drink on the table, and very quickly tries to pour it in to refill it so that she can cast Firebolt. I want to hit the guy that hit Yagra first, because I think that's
this dude here. Yeah.
That dude there. Okay, that is who Baggi is aiming for with this. And kapow! Wham! Blam!
Yep, 13 hits.
Yay! Hits for 4.
Oh my god, so what does that look like?
Yes!
So the whiskey or whatever, literally, like you can see that it turns like the inside of this little old-fashioned, little steampunky looking lighter, like kind of brownie, and so but it's sort of dripped down the side. So as she lights it on like her coat, it kind of sets off all of these sparks quite close to Baggi, but then it just hurls forward and basically just smacks the guy on his right shoulder and kind of cuts open his neck.
It's that burning, bubbling.
Fire burning through bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, and you can, as you kind of look at the fire, you can see those eyes that are there, kind of coming through. The rest of his mates sort of like, fuck, shit. So they run and they grab hold of their mate, and they start running, leaving Yagra there, as they're all kind of like, "You better watch out, you Xanathar's guild. You fucking Zhentarim, bitch!" And he sort of like runs and leaves her there. Literally, as that happens, you hear this sound kind of kick up from underneath of the well. As you see this great like toad climb out of the well itself.
Oh shit!
And you see He's sort of like this, like looks almost like a devilish toad. This sort of dark, sort of swirls of fire on its shoulders, and it's up in its head. It's like, it sort of like climbs out of the well, and there's sort of like these like bat-like things stuck to its body, and then there's also these bat-like things squeaking around its head as well. And you kind of see Durnan as he kind of takes a cigarette out, lights it, puts it on an ashtray, and just goes, "Ah, hell no. You motherfucker! Get back in your hole!" And he kind of grabs under the bar and pulls out his gigantic greatsword, leaps across the bar and shouts, "Everybody get out! Nergallid!" And he like runs into battle. So I'm just going to quickly roll initiative for these dudes as he runs in. And you can now see that a whole new problem is now on the cards. So let's quickly roll for the Nergallid and then roll for the Sturges.
Sturges.
Oh, flashbacks.
Oh,
We hate Sturges, the little bastards.
Great. So let's quickly just bung this into descending. Fantastic. Okay, so Oshi, I'm going to carry on with the same stuff. So Oshi, you've just seen this thing kind of come out of the ground.
Is she still hidden, do you think, here?
Yeah, you're still hidden now.
Oh, my days. She's going to use her short bow and fire at the Nergallid.
Right.
I guess. Let's go for it. 24
Yeah, 24 hits.
for 8.
So 8 piercing damage. Yep.
Yeah.
Great. So it sort of slams into the side of the Nergallid. It's like, and it doesn't seem to do as much damage as you expected it to do. But it looks directly at you.
Sugar.
And then the Sturges are going to have their go now, unless you got anything you want to do in your bonus.
No.
No. Okay, cool. So the first Sturge is going to fly over here. Second Sturge is going to go to you, Washi. Third one's going to go to you, Baggi. Love that this is in the second fight, and Baggi, Pups and Big Phatts haven't even had a go yet.
No.
All right, so Sturges are going to go in for bites. So let's do Pups first. Okay. Ooh, lots of dice. 22 hits, so you take 5 piercing damage.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so it's attached to you now.
Oh yeah, this fucking thing.
So each round you're going to lose 1d4 plus 3, unless you can get it off your arms. Okay, Oshi.
We have got some bombs, guys. I didn't use them, but I forgot how annoying these things are. We've got bombs.
Okay. Well, at the moment, we've still, no matter if I used them, we would still not matter. Oshi, take 4 piercing damage, and 1's attached to your arm. And Baggi, I'll take disadvantage on this one. 12. Does that hit?
It doesn't hit.
So you did this, like, goes in for a bite, and you, like, slap it in its face. And you're like, get up.
Get up.
However, the Nergallid, it kind of... Where is Durnan? Oh, I didn't put Durnan in. No. I'm going to put him in now.
Yes.
He's not going to let this shit happen. What did he roll? Oh, yes.
20!
Yeah, so you see Durnan, like, leap across the bar and run across to here as he pulls out his greatsword, which is also known as Grimvolt, a weapon that is taken from Undermountain itself. As he goes for his, not 1, not 2, not 3, but his 4 attacks on the Nergallid.
Good.
Right, 1.
Oh my gilly gosh.
This is the first attack, which misses. Goes for the second attack.
Don't forget, Joe, you've got some advantages.
Oh yeah, I have got some advantages.
Advantage on yourself.
16 hits. And then he goes for the second one.
Fighting a Nergallid. Fighting a Nergallid.
17 hits and goes for the fourth. Fucking Durnan is such a fucking boss, son. 16 hits as well. So it's 16
So
plus
much
7, 24 plus 12, 24, 36 damage.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, so this thing's looking pretty screwed over now. As he looks at like this Nergallid like looks down at this barman like and he looks down at him and he's just like, motherfucker, get in the hole, and he's just like back. Pups, you now have a Scourge on your arm.
Pups just like pulls out the staff and just tries to jab it in the face.
Okay, let's go for an attack with the staff then, please.
24
Yeah, that hits for sure.
for 8.
Yeah, tell me what that looks like, because that is
Fucking thing off my
four
arm.
times the amount of damage needed to kill it. So tell me what that looks like.
Great. So I think Pups just like lifts it out and like just as he pulls the staff out from behind him, just spins it round his neck. So it just sort of like whips and just takes off, spins back round into his hand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're not playing no more
No,
with these fucking Sturges. I want to see if let me see if I can get over. I can get over, so I'm gonna move over to the one that's on Oshi, and I'm gonna punch it in its face.
Is that with your bonus?
Yeah, with my bonus action, monk unarmed strike. Oh, with an 8.
Fails. You got any advantages?
I have got an advantage. Let's use it. Why not? Let's do it.
Yay! Advantage.
You just like fails miserably as you try to swim. Like it's more like the blood loss from before.
Yeah, it just comes running through his eye. I hate Sturges.
Okay, so Baggi, you've got one right in front of you.
Yeah, do you think it's... I'm imagining it's like hovering, almost like an oversized mosquito, just, like above. So I think she's going to pull out, after having backhanded it, she's pulling out the great axe from on her back, and she's just going to try and smack it with all of her might. And it is only it was a crit. It's a 12. Does it hit?
I'm afraid it does not. Have you got any advantages you want to use?
Oh, I really want to use advantage. Yeah, I am actually scared. Have I got any, Dan?
Got 2.
I got 2. Thank you. I'm going to use 1. Come on. It's a 20.
20 hits for sure. Okay.
Smack.
For 5 damage.
5.
Great. What does that look like?
Yeah. So she pulls out the great axe and literally she just smacks it straight round its body, and it goes hurling down into the big the Yawning Portal, and you just hear like with its wings and stuff, just chaos going all the way down.
But more importantly, you don't hear it hit the bottom.
No, just keeps going.
Yagra goes, yeah, fuck this, and she goes over to the bar. And she puts her hand over the bar. Oh no, I've missed a go. Sorry, Yagra's on 1. That's why. Sorry, I hadn't. When I added thing in, I hadn't got it in the right places.
I was late to the initiative.
Oh, I see. Okay. Let's put back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, Big Phatts. You can see the Nergallid around the side there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get there though.
No, don't worry. It doesn't matter if I can get there or not. Big Phatts is going to stay seated at the table drinking his whiskey.
Y'all are gonna have to wait until I finish this here drink before I get involved.
Wow, like night and day with Arbor, isn't he?
Okay, Oshi, you've got this bloodsucker stuck on your arm.
She's going to use her rapier on it to try and flick it off. 18.
Yeah, 18 hits.
18.
For 8.
Yeah, what does that look like?
She just like if you're about to skewer stuff to put in a barbecue, she just skewers it through and then whacks it against the wall and it smashes, flaps and rolls down. She's fuming. She's fuming.
Really, really nice. And then Durnan kind of looks at him and goes, "You know what, motherfucker? Get the fuck out of my fucking bar, motherfucker!" And he sort of like looks up and he hits it with his sword. I don't even need to roll the others. He sort of turns around and just slashes it like across the side of its body, and it's like, and it falls to the ground, and he just wheels it off the edge, like, get out of my bar, and it just like falls and falls down the hole itself, disappearing into the darkness. And he walks back over to the bar and picks up the cigarette, which has burnt about a centimetre. Picks it up. Puts the sword on the side. Turns to somebody else, just like, clean this shit up, I'm gonna go get changed. And he just kind of disappears out the back.
Love it.
Everybody goes fucking nuts at you guys. They turn around and they're like, what the merry hell? Like, these four strangers, well, three strangers really, let's be honest. These three strangers have sort of turned up at the Yawning Portal, dealt with some bandits, and then like essentially helped Durnan get rid of a fucking Nergallid inside the bar itself. And you get all this kind of aggravation. People are running towards you. I think Baggi, someone runs up straight up to you. It's like, oh my god, they go to like hug you.
Baggi literally is just kind of initially is like, as if she's going to attack, and then just puts her arms like straight down either side. Just like, if this is gonna happen, oh god, oh god,
and like,
oh god.
And this Minotaur just like picks you up, it's like, and it's like,
yeah, thank you, I think.
And like, I think Oshi and Pups, these kind of people come over like, oh my god, that was amazing, that was absolutely incredible. And it's like, everyone's freaked out because within, let's just put this in actual timing, it's about 12 seconds. This is all kicked off in.
That's badass.
You've just sort of like just cleared the room and everyone's going crazy. And then suddenly, I think Pups and Oshi, you feel somebody kind of like, excuse me. And this like gentleman with a really long moustache. He's got this really flowing clothes on him. He's got a big floppy hat on him. And he's like, oh, excuse me. I think that was rather incredible. Volothamp Geddarm. And he puts his hand out. Gonna shake your hand. I would love to buy you and your friends a drink. Would that be okay?
Yeah. What was incredible though?
It's just you just dealt with that problem so quickly. You didn't even think. You just jumped in. Nobody's ever seen you in this bar before, and yet you're here to kind of help. That's the sort of things. This is utterly incredible. So bravery and heroic.
Something... well, I thought this was a bar for heroes.
And yet you are definitely a hero.
Yeah. What about everyone else?
And you kind of look at him, and is there something that you recognise about him? And you, I mean, maybe not Pups, probably more Oshi. Probably starts to kind of recognise this kind of face. And Baggi, from across the well, you can see that this person is sort of joining the group, or has walked up to these guys. Can you roll a history for me? And then I'll go into the conversation with Pups.
Amazing. Yeah, history is coming. It's a... Aww.
No idea.
Can I... Oh, should I use my other advantage?
Oh no, you've got two. Someone replenished it. Who was it? It was Ferg.
Nice.
Oh, Ferg. Thank you, because I'm going to do that again. That should have been higher. Okay. 21?
No, yeah, take 21. This is Volo, or Volothamp Goddard. You know that he's an incredibly famous wizard and writer. He's just finished he's one of his latest books, which is Volo's Complete Guide to Monsters. And he is very well known in Waterdeep itself. You also, for that number, you know that he's also a great exaggerator. yes, heroes indeed, but there's a difference between heroes and bravery and courage, you see.
Oh, so most of the people in here don't defend a woman who's on 6-on-1.
And he's like, kind of goes in and it's like, shh. They may not be courageous, but yet they will still throw you in that hole.
Will they?
And you kind of look around and you see that there is a lot of very large people for your size. In fact, you do see a couple of different faces. Roll me a perception, actually, as you kind of look around, like, oh, will they? And you look around.
22.
Great. You see, I'm going to say that Pups has a lot of like heroes for when he was a child. And you can see that in here there are some incredibly famous adventurers, people of legend, drinking. Most of them are upstairs and they're looking over the edge and they're looking at you, pointing and smiling and just like, wow, that was incredible. And they're sort of like pointing and they're smiling at you. You see people like, let me try and think of a name of somebody. Give me a second. I have literally like a load of pictures of everybody that's inside this bar. Actually, I'm just going to show you that picture. So don't take this literally, but some of these faces are here. Some of them obviously will not be, because, you know, MacPherson's in this picture.
Really?
So there's like hundreds of people, and there are hugely like successful people in this place. And I think what you feel is that, you know, that moment of made it.
Yeah.
And you think the reason that people didn't get involved because it might have been below their pay grade, and or they're probably cleverer than getting involved in a bar fight in a random place from the moment you walk in. So you guys know here's MacPherson. There he is. You see this guy sitting in the corner with long hair, and he's got a book, and he's sat in the corner. He's going, you know, right, you. And he's like practicing his dwarven Scottish accent. And
so I think Pup sort of looks round and then realizes, you know, the sort of the rage sort of calms down in him, looks around, sees all these various people, and just turns to Volo and says, "All right, cool, drink. How do you want to do this?"
I have a table over here. I go to your table, but I don't mind. Oh, you want tea? And he kind of looks over at you, Oshi.
Are you anti-pure blood? Mine will be a large firebolt whiskey, please.
I have just come from the jungles of Chult, and the Huanti homeland is sensational.
Yes, it is. I'm surprised you found it, but it is. Thank you. So the whiskey.
Oh, of course. The drinks, of course. He sort of leads you over to his table, and he kind of looks over. He's like, "Where?" And he kind of sees Baggi sort of being jumped up and down. And he's like, "Oh, my good fellow, put her down." And he's like, "Yeah," and he kind of puts her down as he looks over. As he walks past you, Big Phatts, to this booth. Or I keep clicking on the stream rather than the actual thing. To this booth over here. He's like, oh, and you can see Big Phatts is just sat there drinking his whiskey. As you come over to his table, it's all kind of full of books. There's all these books that are around. And he was like, oh, that's good. And he kind of puts his hand up into the air and asks for some drinks. So, what was it you wanted?
Are you talking to Baggi?
Baggi kind of wanders over as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Volo so you guys can see what they look like. There we go.
Let's see you, Volo.
There he is.
Oh
wow.
God, exactly as I imagined.
As you guys kind of walk past the fireplace, you see that there's this little gated area. And there's this like on this cushion you see this incredibly old mastiff. He's sort of sleeping. His eyes, that kind of like big blood red eyes under here, and he's sort of like he's like asleep. And as you walk by, he kind of raises his head and it puts it back down on the side again, and just kind of carries on sleeping. And everyone kind of knows never to go anywhere near that place and disturb him. There's little like biscuits and stuff around him as well. As you kind of come over to the table.
Baggi looks at Volo and just says, "Well, Volo Goddard."
At your service. And he kind of like, and he sort of bows his floppy hat, kind of like falls down and picks it back up and pops it back on his head.
Yeah, I've heard all about you and your books, especially on monsters.
Oh, of course. Yes, it's been a very, very popular book. Very, very popular book. Lots and lots of research, you see.
Yeah, I bet. Tell me, what was your favourite part of your book? Was it the thrilling stories, or was it the kind of the rude way that you wrote about some of the races in this pub, Volo?
Oh, well, you can have it, and he's like completely oblivious of what you're alluring to in every single way, shape, and form. And he brings out his book, and he's like, "Oh, have a copy. See what you think yourself." And he passes, as he hands it over, he notices all of your garb and tools. Oh, a learned one. And he kind of pulls his notebook out and starts writing stuff down.
Baggi, just immediately feeling really uncomfortable and self-conscious, just says, "What are you writing?"
Oh, I was writing about you, actually. What was your name?
I'm not sure I want to tell you. I don't want to be one of your studies in your books. And she picks up a drink on the table and goes to leave.
Oof. And she kind of turns it. Oh. Well, did I say something?
Start talking sense now.
Of course. I'm in a little problem. A good friend of mine has disappeared, and I would really, really like your help, actually. I can pay. I know that you don't particularly like me, and that's fine, but I can pay.
How much?
Let's say 10 gold pieces each now.
No.
Now?
No, sorry.
Okay, no worries. And he kind of gets to stand up and starts walking
You just-
away. I go, okay,
sorry.
find some other adventurers, don't worry.
Follow.
And
My
yes.
dear. You just saw what we did. You want things done cleanly and quickly and by wonderful species of us, heroes. What's the rest?
See, you didn't let me get there.
Why don't you write it in your book and then pass it over to me then?
Okay. Kind of picks up his note and starts like writing it down, and he passes over a note. On the note it says 10 gold pieces now, 100 gold pieces each when the job is done.
Oshi pushes it over to Pups and looks him in the eye.
Pups looks at it, slides it back over. Your numbers are fair.
Although rations.
Rations? At least I
We just may need a little bit more in case of expenses on the way beforehand.
Yeah, I could do with some darts.
I'm afraid that's not my thing here. I can offer. This is what I can offer now. Please. His wife is very upset that he didn't come home last night. Please.
How about you go over there and you apologize to that wonderful, learned half-orc first?
And he looks over and like, did I offend her? Oh, my apologies. And he kind of stands up and walks over, and he's genuinely like confused and like didn't realise what he'd done. And he walks over and he's just like, excuse me, madam.
Baggy's just in the middle of talking to Big Phatts, basically just being like, he's a prick, mate. Absolute prick.
You're out there, shortstop. It's quite a face hugger you got going on. Find me a drink as well, are you?
Just one, please. Madam.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I was rather rude. My curiosity can often get the better of me. And I also understand that I may have been prejudiced and racist to you. That is not fair. It's not becoming of learned people. I am extremely sorry.
Well, I'll accept your apology if whatever you're asking of me and my friends is reflected in any kind of pay.
Of course,
I believe that if you're a man who talks in such hyperbole, then maybe it should be reflected in a decent wage.
Of course,
well.
I've offered to your friends there 100 golds each. That's 400 gold for finding my friend. Please.
Baggy glances at Big Phatts.
100 gold don't sound too bad.
Yeah, Big Phatts, you understand 100 gold is about 8 months of your shop? Maybe more.
I don't have much in the way of income right now, so I'm pretty likely to say yes to this.
Well, I think it's only proper that we decide this as a group. And almost like Baggy's stating their ground and it's their terms, she actually calls Pups and Oshi over to the table where Big Phatts has been sitting the entire time.
Well, nice of y'all to join me. Had fun fighting those little bugs earlier.
I hate Sturges.
And you
We
can
were
see
just warming
like,
up, Big Phatts. We were just
Volo
warming
is
up.
like staring at Big Phatts.
Have we got a problem here, little feller?
No, not at all. Them ship. And he like struggles for the right pronoun because he's trying now to be correct as he possibly can, and he can't recognize what you are.
You can call me Big Phatts.
Oh, big Phatts, of course. I am very, very sorry. Sometimes I can get a little excited, and I can fall back into old ways. And
Well,
this is
no excuse for racism, but I hear what you were saying.
yes, and I am forever apologies to the point that I will add an extra 50 gold pieces each. I'm feeling a message in my brain that says for the inconvenience. It's very it's shameful, and I apologize.
Well,
So-
I think that's fair.
Where was your friend last seen?
Yes, he disappeared last night. I was drinking with him down at the dock ward in a pub called the Skewered Dragon. And he then didn't come back to his wife, which is a surprise because I didn't even know he had a wife. He's very beautiful, Lucy. Strawberry, sort of red blonde hair, and very, very good looking. But he has a very gaudy unicorn that he wears around his neck. Floon, sorry, I should have said his name. His name is Floon Blackmar.
And is there a time limit as when we need to get him back?
Oh, please, if you could find him as soon as possible. I mean, you never know what could have happened to him.
Skewered Dragon, that's that musical pub or something, ain't it?
Yes, I believe they have musical events there, yes, and concerts and such.
Right, okay. I done heard it was a bit of a shithole.
I mean, you must have noticed the violence that's on the street recently. It's very, very worrying that he's disappeared right now, especially at this time.
So you're a writer.
Yes.
Could you write us a contract for what you've just discussed and when we'll get payment, please?
I mean, I'm not a legal writer. I wouldn't be able to do that. That's just preposterous. And he kind of looks at you. It's like,
Oh, so you think we'll need legal representation when dealing with you? Oh, this is making me feel a little bit uncomfortable, Volo.
No worries. And he kind of stands up and goes, I can find other adventurers. Do not worry. And he goes to kind of collect his things. Again, I'm very sorry. My deepest apologies. And he kind of stands up and goes to kind of walk away from you. And he's just like, he kind of walks back over to you.
Volo.
Yeah, yes.
That didn't mean we didn't want to do it. You're just making me uncomfortable.
I see. And then he kind of realizes that he's probably making a lot of people uncomfortable. So he just pops the 40 gold pieces on the table. And like, there's the 40 gold.
And where will we be able to find you for the rest?
I'll be here. Just return here. I would love it if you could bring him back alive. However.
Pups picks up the gold, puts it in his pocket, and says, "If I have to come looking for you, it's going to be 150 gold and that moustache."
You go.
And Pups just pulls out his blade.
Don't take Betsy, please. And he sort of like he just strokes his moustache.
Yeah. I don't want to have to take Betsy, Volo, but if you leave me no choice, then you leave me no choice. You know, business is business.
Of course. I mean, this is not my first rodeo.
That's a good one, Volo.
Pups' face just doesn't move.
Oh, she just starts drinking the whiskey. She's out. She's confused. Who is this? This is a very strange, interesting being.
Where do we go first, Volo?
I mean, I suppose the Skewered Dragon would be the best place to kind of go. Other than that, I have no idea. That was the last place I saw him.
Oh, thank you very much for your time. We'll meet you back here after we find that little friend of yours, and you'll perhaps buy us around a whiskey afterwards as well.
Oh, of course. And Baggy, you've just been staring at him the whole time, right? Because I'm just looking at the way you're sat there. Could you roll an insight check for me?
I would absolutely love to. Here we go.
Can I assist her?
No.
No.
It's an 11.
You just still remember that idea of embellishment. And you can see that he seems very stressed, but you think that could have been because he's an asshole. But other than that, that's kind of all you see from that. He said, "Please hurry. It'd be wonderful to get his beautiful head back. My good friend here, as soon as possible."
Floon, is he a Yuanti? Is he a goblin?
Is he human? Is he human?
A human.
They're the most easily broken.
Oh, and he's sort of like a little bit shocked by that.
And what about his wife? Is she human too?
I have no idea. I've never even realised that he had a wife until she contacted me this morning.
How did she contact you?
Strange that he's an old friend of yours, and yet you don't know if he has a wife or not.
I know, he didn't seem to mention it at the time.
But she contacted you and said, "I'm Floon Blagmar's wife. He's gone missing. Help. A stranger."
Yes. She came to me and said that I was Volo, and just said that he knows that he hangs out with me.
Well, it's not for me to question my employer. As long as you can pay up, I'm happy to do this godforsaken job.
150 gold each, Volo.
Yes.
Yeah. And then maybe after that we'll hear the rest of your story, eh?
Oh, you could read it in my books. And he sort of like gestures back to his stack of books that he's got on his table.
Pup reaches his hand out for the book.
Yeah.
And he gives you, in fact, goes, and he opens it up and he signs one for you.
Yes. Yeah. Oshi would like a sign too.
Pup takes it and without even breaking eye contact, throws it in the hole.
And then he kind of closes. He doesn't give any more out after that. And he's like, oh. I see. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you're not as heroic as I thought you were.
Volo.
And he just turns around and just like, please find my friend, and just backs away, and goes to his table and sits. And he genuinely sits there, and he's and you can tell that he is literally beating himself up because he knows how wrong he has just been. And he just sits there. Don't feel sorry for him.
She wanted to sell it, try and sell it for money. Come on, Pop.
Do you think that bullshit's worth anything?
Nah, it was never gonna happen. I was like, if I get my hand on that book, it's also going in the pool.
I know I haven't been around y'all for very long, but do you always threaten your employers the moment they offer you some jobs? You seem like you're not very trustworthy bunch.
Well, we haven't been given much reason to be trustworthy in the past, Big Phatts.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, if we're going to work together, then maybe we can start with a more socially amicable means of conversation instead of, you're a liar, or you should pay me more money. And hey, well, just coming from a businessman's point of view.
Maybe you should handle our parts of our transactions with more difficult customers in the past then, Big Phatts.
Hey, I'm not saying that you can't throw down some punches if things go wrong. I'm just saying that Volo don't seem to take too fondly to us from here on out.
Well, as long as he's still willing to pay up, this should be an easy enough job, don't you think? Looking at Pups and Oshi and everyone.
Agreed.
Big Phatts, do you like singing and music?
Nope. Hate it.
Oh.
Absolutely despise it, in fact. Never hear me singing. Smoking, drinking. That's more my style.
Okay.
So guys, I'm sorry, carry on.
So the Skewered Dragon, you've been?
Yeah, well, I've been told to avoid it, seeing as I hate music so much. Not a place for me to visit. But I've heard it's a shithole.
And that is my kind of bar.
Pups.
And you all kind of pick up your drinks, your fire whiskies, and you kind of bring them up and you kind of clink together as we're going to take a little break there.
Yeah!
Nicely done. You probably make that the most difficult job thing I've ever had to do with your
I
players.
don't know why they've come in so hot. They're living on a prayer right now.
It's literally, it was moments to know, and I was just like, you know what, I could just get him to go get somebody else to go find these people.
No! We're buzzing, man. We're buzzing.
So mean, though. He was so mean.
Yeah, he was horrible.
Oh, yeah, welcome to the rich of Waterdeep. They are not nice people. Okay, don't poor Jamie, Mama. It's a fight. It's absolutely fine.
Sorry,
yeah,
so
you're now currently on a job, which is always a good thing. And see how you're going to get from there. So we're going to go for a little break. We've got a little message from good friends of ours before we go to actual break. So we'll see you guys in about 5 minutes time.
See you, bye.
Ooh.
Flesh.
I'm sorry, I've just noticed that Dan Burman is wearing a Castellanter's
I know.
vest.
I know, so that's well.
What could you possibly mean?
Dan Burman in his natural abode. Sleepless.
Exactly. I'm hoping that everyone is still with us. It's Mallrats Monday, isn't it? It has to have a little bit of a problem every now and then.
That's all good. Say hello
All
in the
right.
chat if you're back.
Yeah, we're back. Okay, good. So, you guys have met Volo the Racist. As we all know, that was the book when this was written, and now we have moved on in the D&D world to understand that there's certain witches that actually teach us a better way to look.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do not listen to Volo that often anymore. Nuh-uh.
Hashtag
Nah.
veto Volo.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
But also, he's going to pay us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hope.
Double
You
standards.
hope. You really hope he's going to pay you. Right. So let's have a look at the map. Okay, so the map of Waterdeep, as you guys already know and love. I'm going to flip over so everyone else can see it. There we go. So you guys are. Oh, there's Phelan. Just saw Phelan Villa is still marked on there for Copper Street. Yeah. So there you are. The Yawning Portal. Let's just mark it there. Done. Okay, so you are in. What would probably still be seen as the dock ward, although you're in a kind of like nicer part, which you probably sit in still. What I would say it's the castle ward, really, southern part of the castle ward, and you guys are going to have to kind of make your way down towards the Skewered Dragon. Do you guys know? I mean, it seems as if Big Phatts knows where the Skewered Dragon is.
Yeah, I think Big Phatts knows Waterdeep Dock Ward fairly well. He's had a business here for like 20 years or more. He knows the area.
Okay, cool. So I think the probably the quickest way would be to go down Snail Street.
Snail Street, baby. Yeah.
So that'll be coming down here past Blackstar. And then making your way over towards Cod Lane, which is where the Skewered Dragon is, I believe. Is that right, Rob? Because you changed
it's
it.
right here. Almighty power, the former DM.
So that's a good thing. So I think what happens is you guys kind of come out of the bar. I think it's still relatively early. Because you think about, if you look at the timeline, you came out of the ship ward of the night. You should be exhausted though, but you're not. You then went back with the grain. You then went under the sewers, got Arbor out, went up to the thing. In the morning, had the fight in the morning, and then went up to the pub. And now you're coming back out, almost the same day.
Oh no, we had the 8 hours rest though because of the coin.
Oh yeah, you had the 8 hours rest, but that was inside. That was you guys, because you guys are 8 hours. You guys are 8 hours older than everybody else in the world.
We're jet lagged.
As you kind of like make your way down Snail Street, as you kind of get, I'm gonna get rid of Volo because he's a knobber. As you kind of start getting about, oh, I'm on the wrong sheet. There we are. About here. Come on, click for me. Yeah, about here on Snail Street. You hear a slight sort of change in the sort of the sound in the air. As you kind of come round the corner of Blackstar, you see the whole street is out. There's tables all the way along. People are serving food. You literally come around the corner of the Chat Maison, and you see like the whole place is rammed, full of celebration. The building is still smouldering, and the City Watch are trying to put it out, but the people of Blackstar are out, and they're out to celebrate lives of people. As you kind of come into I'm guessing you guys are going to make your way into Blackstar because, hey, it's your home. And you kind of see all the different people, and they're all out selling their food, their drinks. Testbard, Jean-Claude Testbard, is giving drinks out for free. And you can see where Big Phatts' shop is. You can see that's where there are 2 pots on the ground. 3 pots. I'm going to put Henry in there as well. 3 pots. And there's a huge long line. One is a pot that's sitting on the cornerstone of Tunk. One is being held by Honest Price. And she's holding her dog with her. And he's wrapped up in his favourite blankie. Obviously not moving. And then you see what looks to be about a 16 or 17-year-old kobold. There's 2 of them. It's Justin and Mary, who are the eldest of Agnew. And then you've got 24 kids sort of sprawled out. The kids are doing their best, and you can see Justin every now and then is like going up to one of them, kneeling down, and just like, come on, head up. And he wipes their tears, and he's like, come on. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he sort of looks up, so, and he goes back and he stands and receives the coin. And one of them is like, Pupsy! And he sees you across the way, and he runs, literally all run towards you guys. And they're all gonna run, and they climb onto Pups, and they look up and they see Big Phatts, like, because I've never been in a tobacconist shop ever because they're too little. Like, oh.
That's right, I'm alive.
What are yous?
Me? I'm a Warforged, kids.
Wow.
You know what a Warforged is?
Fighting.
Yeah.
And one's going over and he like, puts his ear to your leg. So, dong, 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 dong. And he turns to everyone and he's like, 3% iron and some steel. And he's like talking about the composition of what you're made of. And the other one's like, I reckon I can make a wolf. I want to make a wolf forge. And as I like run off. And one still stood there, the smallest one. Actually, it's Craig. He's the one who brands all the kids, all the horses. And he stands there staring up at you.
You want to go on my shoulders or something?
And he just literally, like, that his feet just start tapping on the ground in excitement.
Come here, little one.
And you put your hand down and he climbs up onto your hand and then he's up on your shoulder. And he acts like a king or a prince.
You should consider smoking when you're older. You see that in cigars, you come to Big Phatts, okay?
Oh, I'm sick. And he like coughs because of like the smoke is going into his face. And we come back over to Pups, and the kids are around, and Mary leaves the group and she comes over. Pups.
Hi, Mary.
And she just throws her arms around you and sobs.
Pups just like pulls. I imagine Pups only goes up to like her mid back. And, like,
they're about the same sort of height. Actually, I think
but-
kobolds are a little bit shorter, about a foot shorter. They're like 2.5 foot. So it gives you an idea of how small the kid is on Big Phat's shoulder. But she just grabs hold of you and holds on.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I wish I could have been there. Agnew did more for me than anyone will probably ever know, and with you around, with you lot around, I feel like I've got an extended family again, and I'm not going to be able to be here all the time, but I'm still going to watch over you, okay?
And she kind of pulls away from kind of like tears, and she kind of wipes her face. Just like she centers herself. Justin and myself have got it. We were making shoes. We can carry on. And with the help of these lot, we'll keep Agnew's stable open.
I know you will.
And she leans in. So that a couple of pieces would be good.
Well, yeah, of course. And Pups goes in and hands her over a pouch with 148 gold pieces in it.
It's like, and everyone's just like, everyone around, because obviously you guys coming back is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just like, what? And everyone sort of celebrates. She goes over to the pot and she pours all of the coins into the pot. As the day continues, I think Oshi, you see. Let's do actually, Baggi. You kind of see Honest Price stood there with the bucket, and she's got the long line, and you sort of cut in, and people will move out the way for you so that you could come. She's like, "Oh, Baggi, child," and she kind of puts her arms out. She's still wearing the hoop dress with all the weapons on it, so she hasn't really changed that much.
For the first time, Baggi actually tries to sort of give the hug as well as just receive the hug. It's been a long time since she's seen her. Baggi just says, God, the last time I saw you, I said that I was going to protect this place, Honest.
She looks over at the smouldering ruins of number 3. And she looks back at her. Well, you did a wonderful job, my love.
I'm so glad that you're okay, though. I'm sorry. I am sorry about Henry.
She looks down at her dog. Such a warrior.
Yeah, always fighting.
She sort of strokes him. And she's like, I was thinking of popping him next to Mr. Tunk. And then you see Justin kind of look over, and he's like, we were thinking the same for Agnew. It's like, maybe we turn this into a shrine of heroes, maybe. Oh, if Mr. Big Phatts doesn't mind.
Hey, the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
It's like, we're using your shop. I mean, the site is gone, but... And you look over, and behind Tunk's spot where your shop is, it's cornered off with like tape. And there's like City Watch positioned around it as there's an ongoing investigation now from underneath what's underneath your shop and Mr. Follicles, because they can get into Mr. Follicles from your side. And they're just
as far as I'm concerned, my shop was always rumors spread about smoking kills. Well, I'm glad for it to now be a place of marking those that lived.
You actually tap another cigar. Let's stick it into the hole. That is wonderful. Of course we can pay. And she kind of looks over at the buckets.
No need to pay. We've suffered enough.
She bows.
Besides, I got myself a new job, so...
She kind of looks around and she kind of pulls out a weapon from her dress. No, I know what I'm going to do. So she looks over and she sees there's a club lying against the stone. And she goes and she picks it up and everyone goes silent. And she kind of presents it over to you guys. And more to Big Phatts. He saved you.
That's right.
And then she looks at Baggi in that kind of, is this okay? And
Baggi she just nods.
And she looks at Pups and at Oshi.
Well, it would be my honor.
And then you go and you grab hold of the great club, and the whole place is like, "Way!" It's sort of like you raise it up to the sky, and you got thumping tongue bloodstain written across the side of the thing. And I think that kind of like she goes back to Baggi, and she goes and she takes hold of your hand and then makes you stand next to her. And you realise that she has nobody else. And actually, you are the closest thing that she has to family. The other guys, she loves them, but you're closer. You're something closer. And Pups, you go and you stand with the Agnews. And there's a very much marked difference about the way people treat you, Pups. You were seen as a hero, seen as somebody of respect. And then further back in the crowd, we see Oshi. And she's there having a fag, probably next to the bar.
Yeah, she's looking for some booze. She wants a bottle of it.
And literally, you can see Tespard is there, like, look, calm down.
I love him so much.
She's actually got a bone to pick with him.
Calm le cheval, come on, back up. And he sort of like goes over and he starts pouring out pints everywhere. So I just need to close my door, sorry.
Oshi's like wondering why she's so far back in the queue.
And then you see Baragorn like over top of everybody, because you just see those hulking shoulders. He's still covered in blood. He hasn't actually got fixed up. You also notice there's very much a bigger presence of WotC here than ever has been on Blackstar Lane. And you see him, and Baragorn turns and sees you. Just goes, out of the way! He's like roars, and everyone's like, ugh, and just parts your way. And it's just like empty towards the bar. And she kind of like sway forward and
Yes.
across the bar. Pull a bottle of whiskey.
She turns to Baragon and she says, "Why do you still look like you're in battle?"
It is only once I've bathed does it disappear. And he keeps licking. And you can see that there's parts of his fur which are clean, where he's been cleaning himself.
She offers him some whiskey to, I guess, wash away the bloods of his foes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like,
have so many hairballs.
he like squats on a hairball, this big bloody hairball, and he's like,
Pass me that whiskey.
and he like swipes the bottle from you, like, ah, sorry, damned hairballs.
So the watch is here.
Yes, they've taken over number 12. And you kind of look over and you see that number 12 is like, you see somebody going up to light the green lantern in front of number 12. And it says, they've promised with the council, we have a council now. A lot's happened in 6 hours. He looks at his watch.
Mobilised quickly. Well, they're 25 years too late, aren't they?
Well, we've the council has been set up to protect the interests of the street. They've said with all the violence that's been going on that actually Blackstar was the epicenter of quite a lot of the violence. Apparently some Zhentarim, and he sort of says whisperingly, Zhentarim, and the Xanathars. And he sort of, as he says Zhentarim, he looks towards the blades, or the building that's burning, and looks down at number 12 and the Xanathars. Apparently Alphonse was being funded by them.
We've just been to the Yawning Portal
And he's like, whoa.
and got into a fight pretty quickly. And
I'm not surprised, hero. And he sort of like punches you in the shoulder.
And she like sways.
Fuck, you know? Yeah, you get out of the way of it. Yeah.
She's stealthy, thank God. And she kind of discusses the fact that she heard Xanathar and Zhentarim talked about within this fight that they just had.
Seems
So they're
as if,
everywhere.
Everywhere. Seems there's nowhere safe. I mean, the Xanathars are particularly large, and the Zhentarim are well across the entire Sword Coast. This is worrying.
I really hope we don't have to meet too many of them.
I guarantee you will meet many. They seem to be warring, just as they were here. One of the city guards said that there has been many fights and murders and deaths. It happened not too long ago. It started up at almost the same time as Alphonse here. And he kind of looks over and you see there's still like a shrouded body in the center that nobody has touched. It's almost when he arrived, things seemed to go wrong. It's almost as if the underworld is in absolute chaos.
Do you like music, Baragon? And singing?
Only the classics.
Oh, I'm assuming the Skewered Dragon isn't your bar of choice.
Some of my Bay kids wanted to go to a gig there last night. They haven't returned.
They haven't returned.
No. Some modern floozy Baxter Backlewright, I believe his name is.
I haven't heard of him.
Yes, and another have I. Except for the posters. It's a very beautiful person. But I bet he can't strum a lute. Ha ha. It's like he thinks it's hilarious. It really isn't.
And she knows she doesn't need to ask, but she says, if we aren't able to come back, will you look after Tunk?
The council has already agreed, and she kind of looks over. He looks over at the bucket that's on Tunk's grave. People have put loads of money in. That's for a statue.
A statue.
A grand statue.
And if there's any left over, what will that go towards?
Probably supporting the families here. Unless you have a problem with that.
No.
I can always siphon off a few coins for you. And he kind of winks.
And despite her burning want for gold, she just sees Tunk's face flash in front of him, and she remembers that Baragon was offering Tunk a job, and she was actually going to siphon some of Tunk's wages off for herself.
You fucking hell.
So
Gross.
So yeah, she's felt the pain of losing Tunk. I think she appreciates his how polar opposite they are so much more. And she says, no, I think that's what Tunk would want. So I shouldn't have a say in this one. And then she winks back at him.
Of course. It'll be a grand statue. Fitting of his rotund structure. But we've also decided to place Agnew and the warrior dog. And he seemed growl when he says that.
Tunk would like that too.
Yes. Now, give me that whiskey. And he sort of like grabs some whiskey and then puts his hand over the bar and grabs 2 glasses. You and I. And he like goes to pour and he's like, oh, but you're working.
It's never stopped me before. This used to be my work.
And he pours you a glass that actually overflows. And then pours himself one. It's like, cheers.
Cheers.
And he just takes a drink. Pups, you see one of the kids, I think this is Talmond, and he pulls on your yoga pants. I think you're wearing yoga pants now. I don't know why. It's because you're a monk. You wear yoga pants.
Cool. Like the floaty ones or the skin tight ones?
the floaty ones.
Okay.
It's like harem pants.
Oh,
Nothing at
yeah.
all. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
It's like pulls at them.
Pups drops down to a knee.
And he like can't get the words out.
It's okay.
Can I still collect sweeties for Trolltide? And you think in your head, and you know that Trolltide is a bit like Halloween, but it's in the summer, so it's sort of around this sort of period of time, where sort of kids dress up as trolls and go around houses knocking on doors, and obviously if you don't give them sweeties, they egg your house. But he looks at you, and you can see that behind him he's got like a troll mask.
Yeah. And so I say, well, that depends on how scary you are.
He goes, oh.
I'm going to close.
He puts his head down like this. And you kind of like lean in closer to him.
Yeah.
And you go,
like Pups like freaks out, like completely like falls on the ground and is like, oh, you're so... Yes, you are the most scary ever.
And you can see him like chest up.
Yeah. Now
I don't think he was that scary, if you ask me.
And then Craig whispers in your ear,
I can be scarier.
Oh.
Well,
Now-
shit.
now I need you to do me a favor, little one. So you see all these people here. Everyone here is pulled together as a community to raise funds for heroes. And sometimes pulling together takes time, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you never think it's going to happen. But you see that pile of gold over there?
He looks over.
Yeah. What I want you to do, I want you to take this, and Pups hands him over a piece of platinum.
Oof.
I want you to go over there, because I think that bucket is just about ready to tip over. And when you go over there and put that on the top, I want you to shout something at the top of your voice. Can you do that for me? Yeah. What I want you to shout is Fizzlekins.
So, okay. So he runs over and he just like, he goes like this, and he gets the coin, and he's about to drop it in, and he goes, Fizzlekins! And as he shouts it, the doors of the brewery burst open, and this big figure of a troll, like wooden figure of a troll, comes out. And then these other fireworks start going off, and then someone goes over and just sets fire to the troll, and it turns into a Troll Tide festival. And it's almost like perfect timing, bang, as you're straight in. And it's like the funeral turns into a Troll Tide festival. As the bucket falls, and it's just like sprawls the gold across the top of Tunk's grave. And then so it just becomes like that for I think you guys can kind of stay there for a couple of hours. Is there anything you guys want to do before you move on?
Well, thank you for asking, Baggy. It's not actually lungs that I have, but more of a vacuum that sucks the smoke out through my anal cavity and out through the end. As far as I know, anyway.
And I think, Baggy, you're writing the blueprints in your head to build the Big Phatts.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm also like checking out the bits that I'm like, that looks a bit loose. I kind of want to. I'll ask him later. Yeah, that's fascinating. One moment, and she can kind of see Pups. And she's looking at the remains of Honest Price's place, and is very keen on going back there just one final time into the ruins. Fats, I think that's so interesting. I have so many questions, and I think I can help you out further down the line, but there's just one thing that I really need to do, if that's okay.
Oh, by all means, yeah, you go ahead. I've got my burnt down shop to look at.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go and have a little look at our burnt down shop, I think.
Very well. I'll see you in a few.
Okay. And she heads over to Pups and just sort of says, well, I want to go and see if there's anything left at home. And kind of just holds a hand up at the remains. You want to come?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Where's Oshi at?
Can we look round for Oshi?
Yeah, you don't need to look very far. She's on a table.
Maybe standing on it by this point.
Yeah, but you're dancing in the dancing to the music. Actually, I need to put more music back on. My apologies. You're dancing to the music with like a bottle in your hand, and you're sort of just dancing around the big fire behind you of the troll.
Pops goes up to a table, grabs an apple off the thing and just throws it at Oshi from across the room.
Have you got any ranged weapons like a dart or anything like that?
Yeah.
Could you do that, and we'll see if you hit her?
Okay.
What's your AC? Oh yeah, it hits you. So literally this apple comes out of nowhere, just cracks you on the head. Everyone absolutely creases up laughing.
Oshi draws her rapier because she doesn't know what's happened.
And you're like, "Wah!" It's like swinging a little bit. As you look around to figure out where it comes from, and you see Pups
Holding an apple.
Yeah, Baggy's just pointing at Pups like, it wasn't me. You know.
It just raises up his arm again.
She puts her rapier away and just swears at him.
And like Pups gives like a little like nudge as if to be like, we're off, you come in.
And she just grabs the bottle of whiskey, which is like got maybe like that much left now. But to be fair, I reckon she's like all right with alcohol because she's poor.
All right, let's do a con save. Let's do a con save and let's see what happens.
Here we go.
Poison.
She
So her
drunk.
and Baragon have gone well over half of this. Oh my god, let's see what she's doing. Oh no, 5. She's wrecked.
Yeah.
Okay, you're wrecked. You're going to have disadvantage on any skill check to do with dexterity
Okay, let's hope there's no more fighting, guys.
for the rest of the day, and I'll tell you when the end of the day is. Okay, so you kind of stumble up, and you go to step on a chair, and the chair just goes from under you, and then you kind of like stand up. Nailed it.
She just makes her way over there. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You're so stealthy.
She like goes to swing the bottle at him. Misses, but
Yeah, completely misses. It's that kind of like, I'm not stealthy, you're stealthy kind of moment.
Your face is stealthy.
As you kind of like all kind of walk off to number 3, and we go back to number, what number was he? Number 26, I think it was. And you see Big Phatts stood looking at his shop.
Kind of feels right that a smoke shop burnt down, don't you think?
And obviously none of the ashes sort of say anything to you.
Well, good riddance. Time for a new business. Might do alcohol this time.
And you kind of walk into the ashes itself, and you go through the tape. And some guy's like, "Well, oh, actually, no,
Don't you even start with me, son.
No, it's all good, sir. You crack on."
Thank you very much.
And you start kicking through the different bits and the ash and everything, and you go straight over to a cabinet, or burnt out cabinet. And I think you probably touch it, and it kind of falls apart because you're so massive. Inside is a wrench. And this wrench is very important to you because it's not your wrench. It's the only memory you have of the person that built you. And you go and you pick up the wrench and you sort of... And you look down at it and you say a name.
Jacob.
You spin it in your hands.
And then swallow
Yeah.
it as it goes into an internal compartment.
Yeah, so internally we see like clunk clunk clank clunk clunk clank clank, and it drops into a thing, and literally you go boop, and this like side comes out.
Yep.
There it is. Need to put it back in again.
It's like a vending machine.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the only thing you really care about in this entire like burnt shop.
Can he see if there's any leftover cigars?
Oh yeah, you can have a look. Yeah, definitely. Just do an investigation.
Right. Oh, I've got a -1 in investigation. Ah. Okay.
Ooh, nice dice. White dice. Went for white dice. Nailed it. Nope.
Shit.
I bet you find a box and you're like, oh, and you kind of open it up, and you go to open the box up, and it's just like burn inside. Just they're all
Fucking
fucked.
flammable pieces of shit.
You know of one more, and you go over to a big metal box, and you open up the metal box. And you... No. You literally go to the box and you grab hold of it and rip the door off. And inside is like one singular steel box, and you pop the top up. And on the side of the box, it just says fat lady across the side. And you're like, this,
Can't wait till you sing.
This is the kind of rolled cigar, the one, almost the one that you bought the shop to sell, but never did. And it's just called the Fat Lady.
Right, he again. keeps it
clang, 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 clang. And Craig just goes, "Do you eat everything?"
Well, I might, seem as it's coming up to troll tide.
He's like, and he kind of tries to jump off, and then before he does, he leaps into the air, so he's in front of your face and just eggs your face. Lands to the ground and then runs up. Happy troll tide.
Happy troll tide, you little fucker.
Well, he sort of legs it off, and yeah, Craig is off to like toilet paper the rest of the street. Cool. And you're sort of left there in the ashes, and you kind of go, is there anything else you want to do in your ashes before you go?
I don't think so. I think just kind of give the place a final nod, and
You were good to me. Gotta move on.
he looks towards Tunk's memorial.
You saved my life. I'm gonna repay it to your friends. Despite them clearly needing some sort of psychiatric help, they seem to have been quite hurt in the past, but I'm gonna do my best.
And you sort of like look over at the ruins, and you feels like a hand is on your shoulder, but you look over and there's nothing there. As we go over to number 3, and you see the kind of the burnt out ruins of the old pawn shop, Honest Price. And the three of you sort of stand out front, and I think you maybe go through the front door anyway and try and push the door open, and sort of the door like just sort of collapses. And do you think that there's still some of the top floor on? I think there's a big hole where your bedroom was, but there is still ways of being able to get around it if you're careful. The whole inside of the shop is just burnt out completely. As you kind of walk into the main center of it. Baggi, can you do a perception for me?
Oh yeah, it's a coming. Please be high. I really want this to go well.
Mhm.
Will it? It's a
Ooh,
9.
It's a 9.
Oh, I do have an advantage though, don't I, Dan?
You do indeed.
I'm gonna go again.
We've all got loads.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Great. So you see, in the rubble, you see that brooch, the amethyst and silver brooch, the fake one. And you kind of go over and you pick it up, and it's still all right actually. Like a bit of the glue is sort of melted a little bit, but it's pretty good. And you sort of pocket it. Other than that, the rest of the shop is fucked.
Yeah, the only thing that survived, the fake thing I made.
Exactly.
She's pretty pleased with it, to be fair.
As the three of you kind of go through to the back, and you go past Baggi's workshop, which is that metal table with all of the glass and everything that's all smashed and fucked. And Pups, you kind of go somewhere in here.
Yeah, so I head like round to almost like a storage part, and look above and sort of look fondly on this beam that seems really high to Pups, but there's like a beam where it's like a perfect indentation where Tunk hit his head on it about 400 times. Like grabbing stuff, like going to grab the water, and like heads around and sees if anything sort of survived through the back, like in any of the shelving or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, you do find something there. I think it's a spot that you know.
Yeah, there's like there's almost like a stone, like a foundation stone that was loose that Pups found quite early on, and realized that, like, okay, even if this whole place is made of wood, like if I get under here and I like dig a little trench, then there's gonna be there's a little bit of safety here. I think he's like taken a water skin and like cut the top off it so it almost like lines it with like with almost like a rubber, like a pond lining.
Yeah, you see that there's actually I'm gonna just do this. Yeah, you see that there's a big piece of wood lying across it, and you try to lift it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do an athletics check and see if you need help.
Okay. Athletics. Oh, this is not going to be good. Oh yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm opening a new beer. Okay, those of you who are new to us, if we get a crit, we drink. It's our first crit of the season, I think.
No.
All right.
Initiative.
Oh, that doesn't
right
count.
at the very.
Right, so you managed to kind of lift it and move it on your own. Thanks, guys. Don't know who that was, but thank you for the advantage.
Zach.
Oh, thanks, Zach. Zach, baby. Thanks, man. See, there are DMs stick together, man. I'll tell you. So you lift it up and you manage to kind of open it up on your own without needing anybody else's help.
Mm-hmm.
And you lift the stone and then you find the lined area, and inside is like a small thing that's got like a folded like cloth that's around it, and you open it up.
What do I find?
And you find a small badge, rusted, ruined. I hope I'm on the right line with this. I'm taking your hints from before. Rusted and ruined, but you see a little embroidered badge, which is a harp.
Yeah. And Pups, almost in like if it's like a practiced method, as soon as that beam is out the way, there's almost like a wipe of both hands, and like the thing is up, the harper badge is out and it's gone, and it's in the pocket before like the dust settles. Doesn't even look at it, just goes
in the pocket. In the harem pads. In the harem pads.
Yeah, in the deep pockets.
In the yoga pouch. Right. So the rest of you guys, you're too busy looking at other things. I think Baggi, you're looking over at your workshop, seeing if there's anything that you can get back. But it's just all ruined. It's all gone. If it's not the fire, it's the water they used to put the fire out. And Oshi, you go up the stairs to the room, I'm guessing. Yeah. You go up and you see that the flat on the other side is open. And you see your door is also just gone, but you can get into your room as well.
I'm just going to go to the flat the other side. They got the money, I think, before they left. So
yeah, you got the money, but
for the piss part.
Yeah, you guys got that first. But you guys kind of come into the room and you can see the beds are sort of creaked around. You can see your boxes, the crates that each of you had, the broken mirror, and the wash bowl. But they're all blackened and wrecked. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for here?
Oshi, I don't think so. Oshi's got her necklace and the gold, so I think she wants, if she's allowed, to go into the other flat. She shouts. Is it like all the side of it's gone so they can hear her?
Yeah, they can hear you.
She says, "You can get your stuff out your trunks if you want," and then she goes over to the flat.
She went over to the flat. Okay, and what you see is not a lot.
We've never been in or never seen them or anything, have we?
No, there's not a lot in there. A bed and a wardrobe that's burnt out. Can you do a perception for me?
This soundtrack, man. I need a playlist.
Oh, nice. So you see that there was something pinned to the wall. Look as if it was paper. And there seems to be like lots of metal pins in different places on the paper. Do you want to do an investigation for me?
I sure do. Oh, do I? 11? Can I use an advantage?
Yeah, go for it.
Come on. Oh, fuck it.
We'll take the 11. We'll take the 11. All right, so you go and check over the wall, and you can see that it looks as if it's a big map of something. You don't know what it is. But you do find a piece of paper. And the only thing that you can kind of get out of from the burning is the words, our agent needs to keep these people safe. The Goblin. And you see what you think. If you can do a perception for me again, and I'm not going to let you use any advantages on this.
Perception. Double sixes.
That's it. You don't see anything else on it.
Okay.
And the rest of it's too damaged.
Okay. Is there any gold? Can she look for any gold or copper or silver? No, nothing.
No, nothing else. That's all that's there. Is this what looks like it was a map with loads of pins in it, and this piece of paper that says, "Look, yeah, our agent says to keep an eye on these." The Goblin, and that's all you can kind of see.
Okay, she goes back down to see the team.
I feel like Baggy came up to the room at that point and looked around and went, "Oh my god, it actually looks better than when Tunk lost at Rummy and said he'd do all the cleaning in this place."
Do you reckon how many mending cantrips do you think it'll take to fix it up, Baggy? How long?
I think I'm too tired for all that. Ages. Ages and ages. And actually that makes Baggy think of the bowl. So she kind of wants to look around to see if there's any remnants of that bowl of Tunk's.
And she's sort of mumbling, the bowl. Pups, you know where the bowl is.
Oh, yeah. We made a shrine out of that bowl back before it got so grand over there and had 1 million gold pieces coming out of it. It was that, and I think a ribbon was the only thing that we could put down to remember Tunk at the time. But it might still be there.
And
Well, it can stay there.
Oshi's whiskey-induced state has started to fade over to slight frustration and anger, and she says, "You do realise that's the first time any of us have talked about him. None of you talk about him."
What do you mean?
That's the first time I've heard you say his name, Baggy, since you've been back.
Yeah. I found it hard to talk about him because I know that you guys will have gone through a lot with that and that I wasn't here, so...
And you, Pups, why don't you talk about him?
Why do you think that's happening outside? Are you so fucked up that you forget that I chatted to Rudders about this and asked to stay here for this festival? Don't give me that shit, Oshi. Sleep it off.
We never talk about this. We lost him, not just them outside.
Do you want to say something?
Just that I miss him.
Miss him too.
Yeah. Me too.
And I
What do you
think this is one of the first times I think Baggi or Pups actually has seen Oshi kind of in a state where she's just very vulnerable
Yeah.
because of the state that she's in and for talking about it. And Baggi just goes over and just hugs her in a way that's like, just grabs her basically.
And Oshi says, you know, I bet you could still make good stuff down there, even in all the ruins.
Thank you, Oshi.
And you gotta go
Hey.
to let go of. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
You know, we've still got each other, right? No one's gonna try and replace Tunk, and I'd do anything to get him back. But we've got each other, and I love you both. And Pups goes and joins the hug. Basically sandwiches Oshi in the middle, because this is possibly the first time we've ever hugged.
And he's like, your face is on her bum.
Yeah.
A sort of hug, and then you just hear this stomping from outside and a banging, dunk, 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 and he's whistling like a classic Troll Tide song. And he goes over and he knocks on it. But I think
The
we see.
pumpkin is alighted. I want to do some fighting.
Oh,
and,
dear.
and he like knocks on the door and he just shouts up for sweets.
Trick or treat, y'all coming out or what?
Oh dear, Fats doesn't need any more oiling anytime soon, does he?
And he's sort of like, as you kind of pull apart, Oshi kind of stumbles and falls into the mirror. and the mirror breaks and smashes on the ground. And she looks down at it and she takes another swig.
And she says, we've already had enough bad luck, so what's another 7 years?
Exactly.
Yeah. Where are we gonna sleep tonight?
Who says we're sleeping?
Yes.
We do have a job to do.
Outside.
Don't
Um,
forget.
We start at another pub.
Pub
We'll
crawl.
go. Pub crawl.
Pub crawl.
Baggy.
Baggy. Baggy. Baggy. Baggy.
I think Oshi's trying to walk down the stairs now.
Okay. And you kind of walk down the stairs, go, baggy, bag, as you're on the way down. And you get down to the stairs and you see Big Phatts sort of stood at the doorway.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, I just leaked all over the doorway there. You better not step in that area.
And Oshi, sorry, she shoves the whiskey bottle. She says, treat. Big Phatts.
Thank you there, little lady.
He like takes out his cigar, sticks the bottle in the hole. And you just see the bottle go. And he finishes. What did he leak? I have no idea. As you kind of turn and you kind of go out of your side of Blackstar Lane onto Gut Alley. And you start making your way down south towards Ship Street and Fish Street. You get to... Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong page. Apologies. Too many things open.
Too many things,
There we
too many things.
I think as we went to leave, Pups just like, as that was happening, just walked past and went, "Pub crew!" and like walked through a space in the wall, and then turned back on himself and went back through the doorway. and then "Pub crew!" and carried on.
So you make your way down Gut Alley, and as you turn a corner, you find yourself on a street that has been cornered off by another set of City Watch. Lying on the cobblestones, about half a dozen corpses, seemingly the victim of some terrible skirmish. This is the wrong music. We don't want this music. No. We got some cool shit.
Were you the victim of a terrible skirmish?
Call this number now. So, lying on the cobblestones, about half a dozen corpses, seemingly the victim of some terrible skirmish. You see the City Watch have like disarmed and arrested 3 blood-drenched humans, and in the midst of questioning the witnesses. One of the officers sees you, goes, "Come on, get on, move on, nothing to see here. Come on, fuck off, come on, off you go, keep moving." And he's sort of like just moving people on. You can see that like the 3 of them are sort of on their knees like this, and they just look at you as you kind of walk by, and one sort of smiles up at you guys. Does anybody want to do a perception check for me?
Yeah, I was going to say, can I have a look to see if they've got any eyes on them?
Yeah, go for perception.
22.
What you see is a winged dragon on their arms here, and one of them's got a one down the side of their neck here, which is similar to the one that I think Oshi saw on Billy Blade, but I don't think you even spoke about it. So can you do a quick history check for me, please, Pups?
Yeah. Did I see one on Alphonse when I took him out?
Alphonse, you saw something different.
Oh, okay.
Alphonse, you saw the circle with the stalks coming off it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know this to be the sign of the Zhentarim. So these 3 that are sat there like this are all Zhentarim. I think with the 22, you can see that the collection of corpses have the same tattoo that Alphonse had, which is a circle with like stalks coming off it. And the city guard sees you, the City Watch sees you. So, what are you looking at? Come on, move on.
And Pups just sort of as he walks past, just sort of mumbles under his breath and is like, "This is Zhentarim business."
Which is the same kind of stuff that you heard in the Yawning Portal.
Yeah.
And you see that this is a really bloody fight. This isn't a blood like a brawl. This is like a murder gang. They have done big damage. Like these people have gone towards each other and have murdered each other in the street in broad daylight. It's very clear to you that these lot will be accused of murder.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is this like we've left Blackstar Lane thinking that was a big battle, and then we've just walked in on a massacre that has just eclipsed the entirety of that, made it look like a skirmish?
I think the difference is the number of people versus the blood.
Yeah.
So you had 100 people against 45 people, and a few people died.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 12, maybe 6, and they have literally ripped each other to shreds. And suddenly one of them gets up and runs. He starts running. And you see him kind of like come towards you guys and then turn.
I mean, where's he turning?
As he kind of turns to kind of... Do you want to try and grab him?
Yeah, I want to try and like grab him or take him down.
All right, cool. Let's do let's do acrobatics for you because I think this is very much like a judo hold. Like you imagine
Yeah.
you're grabbing and
Literally,
dropping.
like, Aikido kind of like take to the ground.
Yeah, let me try and do.
I'm gonna
10.
re-roll that
You're gonna re-roll it.
if I'm allowed.
Yep.
I've got a million thingies. 22.
Okay, and he rolls. Yeah, nat 1. So literally, as he runs, you just like run towards you, and then you can describe from here as how you grab him.
So I think he goes to like push my shoulder as he goes, and I just sort of like drop the shoulder and like I sort of like turn him round onto Oshi's rapier, like throat first. No. I drop my shoulder, like grab the wrist, and like kick out the foot as he goes, and so he's sort of like down like this with my foot on his face.
Yeah, and then you just see this guard runs up like, and he said he ran like 10 feet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank God you're here.
And he grabs hold of him. He's like, let the watch do.
Take your time.
Do their
Okay.
jobs.
Yep.
Thank you, citizen. And he sort of
thank you.
drags him back. You do see a couple of the guards, which are different from the watch, and they look at you like, And one of them looks over at Big Phatts and nods at Big Phatts.
What?
And he just goes, 42nd Brigade?
That's correct.
You're the Battle of the Valley.
Yeah, do I know you?
And he kind of lifts his helmet and shows his face. And you recognize
Well,
him.
shit, how you doing?
It's like, Phatts, man! And he kind of runs over and sort of like, he grabs hold of your hand in a particular fashion. There's a particular fashion between these soldiers. And as he kind of turns, you can see he's got a tattoo of the 42nd on his arm. And he sort of grabs hold of it and he's like, man, where you been, man?
Well, I've been passed out for the last while. My shop got burnt down. Had to make those people suffer that did it, but it's all in a day's work. What have you been? You're in the freaking guards now and all.
I know, man. I mean, I needed some work, He didn't. You know what it's like for such soldiers, man. But look, you should get some work, man. You can come join for us. Come join.
Hey, well, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm crossing that line or not.
I mean, to be honest with you, with your medals, you could go for the gauntlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm on a job right now. We'll see if work dries up.
Okay. It's really good to see you, Phatts.
You too.
All right. See you later, BP. And he kind of like
see you
gestures
later.
you. And he's like,
Phatts walks over to the rest of the group and goes, I have no idea who that person was.
but behind you, you can see this guy is talking to his mates like, fuck this guy. And then as we kind of go back over to that, as you see you guys walk off, we're going to stay with him for a second. He's like, that's Big Phatts. And they're like, what? Like, that's the Big Phatts. They're like, you mean the guy that kind of, he's like, yeah. It's like, well, what the hell's he doing at Waterdeep? It's like, and there's just like a shrug. But like, you should have seen him in battle. Blind with rage. Fiercely protective. He deserved those medals. He's a hero. And he's to kind of like follow you guys off towards down towards yeah, as you kind of make your way down to Fish Street. Are you guys going to want to talk to anybody in the street itself, or are you just going to go straight to the dragon itself? Let's bring up the location of the dragon. Actually, let's do that.
Phatts wants to talk to the group as he walks.
Hey there, pups. You know who the Zhentarim are, right?
How much does Pups know, Joe?
I think you've been on the street long enough to know who the Zhentarim are. You avoid them. That's the main thing you know. Avoid the Zhentarim.
Yeah. And I know they're not to be messed with.
Yeah, it's just that today, you and the rest of y'all have not only joined a fight that involved the Zhentarim, but you've also taken down one of theirs as they tried to run away. I'm not saying stop doing it. I'm just saying expect trouble to maybe come your way if you continue to do what you're doing. They don't take kindly to stopping them in their tracks.
Sound advice. Have you ever encountered them yourself?
Well, I pick and choose my battles. Remember that person I said I threw down the hole in the Yawning Portal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he was former Zhentarim, and now he's very much worm food. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so then if I'm in trouble, then does that mean you're in trouble too?
Well, I'm saying don't fucking get me in trouble.
I think it's very, very clear to Big Phatts, who probably is the one who could leave the street compared to you guys, who are very much like involved in the street. Big Phatts knows that like this movement, this shift of fighting on the street is very unusual. Like, you wouldn't do this. This is not a normal way. And I think Oshi as well, you would know that this isn't a normal way if you were sober. You're like, this isn't a normal way for respectable, like, assassins and mercenaries to behave, especially on the streets. The whole atmosphere is very different for you guys coming out into the dock ward out of Blackstar. It's not controlled, which is what you're used to. Like, you're used to the crime being very controlled on Blackstar Lane. This is chaos. This is a war. It almost feels like a war. Carry on.
Should we be scared, Phatts?
Fuck yeah, we should be scared. They're doing it out in the open. It's fucking broad daylight and they're fucking killing each other. There's a bigger war going on than just Blackstar, I'll tell you that.
All right. I'll keep my head down more.
Just be smart about it is all I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
You've seen how fucking efficient these guards and watchers or the watch are. Zhentarim are on it. They know their shit.
Yeah. I think sometimes, I mean, I've always been like this. I just react, you know, and there's been so much that's happened recently that it just, injustice, wrongdoing, it gets me, you know, like we've had
Fuck the injustice, man. There's injustice all over this city. You're gonna fucking save everyone? Be smart about it. You won't be alive long enough to save no one if you're not careful.
And that hits Pups like a train. And he stops almost like buffers before like hitting his stride. And he just sort of looks up and nods and sort of takes on ahead to keep an eye out.
I'm just saying choose your battles, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oshi's, I think, maybe trailing along. Baggy's probably helping out, I'm guessing, just keeping an eye on her. And she says...
Keeping her straight, yeah.
Yeah, probably from the back. She says, Big Phatts.
Yeah?
Would you ever give someone up to the guards or the watch? Would you ever give them up? If you stopped them in the street, would you give them to the guards?
You saying without snitch?
Yeah.
Hell no.
So we shouldn't do that.
More money in keeping secrets.
We shouldn't do that either going forward. Who helps the guard? Who helps the watch? Not us.
Well, depends who's around.
Well,
I was
not
in
me
richer
then.
districts, then maybe I'd help the guards a bit more. But down here in the docks, criminals run the show.
And I think, Pups, do you hear that being shouted from Oshi?
Yeah, I do. Hang on.
Oh, wisdom save, baby.
Here comes a wisdom save. It can feel it.
Oh,
crit it, baby.
And
She-
go on.
She was saying it to try and, I don't know if this sways you, but she was shouting it deliberately to like be a bit like, fuck you.
Yeah, and I think Pup sort of like stops, clenches his fists, and like as he like puts his hand in his pockets, in each of his pockets, and pulls out a little brush and a bell, and just starts cleaning the bell, and just carries on walking.
Okay. You guys are the best. So you walk down Ship Street, and you come across a very unusual sight when it comes to pubs, which is people sitting outside. And there's all of these makeshift tables put outside of the Skewered Dragon. There's a fuck ton of flies, a lot of flies around the Skewered Dragon. As you kind of make your way towards it, you can see these grumbling sort of locals who are like, no matter what happens, I'm having a drink. And you can see the ramshackled sort of shop of the Skewered Dragon. All the windows are smashed up. Like, it's a real dive of a shithole. As you kind of come in through the doors, you see a single orc person stood in the center of a room. Oh no, this is the wrong music for that.
Stood in the center of the room.
Sexy orc person.
As you sort of stood there, and they've got a mop and bucket, and the entire place is covered head to toe in blood. There's a pile of blood of body parts in the corner. As you walk in, and there's a stage, and as you kind of walk in through the door of the Skewered Dragon, you can hear them going, "Fucking Baxter, fucking back right, there's fucking acolytes, fucking calm down. Just try and mop your stupid mop on the floor." And this like trying to mop up the blood. They've done about a quarter of the room, and they're just fucking, as long as you fucking love me, this part, just fucking screwed over this. And it's like that. So you kind of walk in, and then she sort of stops, looks over her shoulder.
Howdy.
What do you want?
What the fuck happened in here?
As we fade to black.
Just drunk Oshi. I love her so hard.
Yeah, drunk Oshi is so great.
Drunk Oshi is fucking brilliant. Okay, so I want to say massive thank you to everybody who stuck with us throughout all of that. So we've got first part, maybe like, I don't know, a quarter. Maybe through. I love that. Oh, Nightbot has. Why has Nightbot returned? Nightbot should not be.
Nightbot's back.
All right. Nightbot should not. Nightbot, go away. You are not part. I have not authorized you to be here. I'm going to have to go and do some real crazy stuff to get rid of you because
Bad Nightbot.
Bad Nightbot. Heavens Bevins. All of the emojis. Love them. Keep them coming. Just fuck off, Nightbot. Okay. He's literally our moderator that like sorts out all the bits. Not Dan. But I want to say massive thank you to all of you who stuck with us through all of our technical difficulties. I think we figured them out now. Woo! So I think from now on we're going to be fine. Yeah, Skynet, absolutely. But again, I want to say thank everybody who's the new guys that have followed today as well. I know the Eldritch Press for one. Thank you for dropping on and saying hi on the chat as well. That's a big bonus.
And
I'm really getting
Fizzlekin was the one to tip us over from our community care package. So now we've got our care package, people.
Nice. I did not realise that happened. Well done. So yeah, Fizzkins. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that you were there. Please join us next week as we can go into what I would say is the next 3/4 of chapter 1. Of what I keep wanting to say Waterdeep Mallrats Blackstar Lane, but it's not. Waterdeep Mallrats Dragon Heist. As we come back next week. I really appreciate, again, all of you being here, and I want to say thank you to all of the players as well for being with us and cracking on and jiving away and dancing away. And I hope you had a good time. Oh, Tea Party Fox, mwah. I didn't even see you in the chat. I think I just completely missed that. But
was like, oh, you do crits when you do 20s. I'm gonna do shots.
Yeah.
Man, you are hardcore. Oh, Scotty M's here as well. I didn't realise that Scotty was here. Lovely, love to see you. But yeah, next week we shall return and then see how this goes in what we call the bloodbath of Baxter Backlewright and the search for Floon Blagmar. And see how it goes from there.
And a huge thank you, Joe, for sorting out an amazing first smashed it. So good. So good.
So those of you who have followed and subscribed, or those of you who have subscribed this week, you'll be added to the credits roll next week. But we'd like to roll our credits with people that have supported us. So I hope that you enjoy it. Has anyone got anything else they want to say before we sign off?
Just thank you so much for joining us, guys. Like, join us next week. I hope you've enjoyed like the changeover. If all the references that came up, you're like, what the hell is this? We've got back issues on Twitch. We've got back issues on our YouTube channel. Are all the follows and subscribes and stuff at the end, Joe? Or is it at the bottom? Is it at the bottom?
At the bottom? What?
It's at the bottom. It's under here. Follow, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the stuff. Check us out, catch up, find out what happened to Rob's other characters.
Actually, I am going to quickly drop in a quick command in the chat if you don't mind me, Dan.
Yeah, crack on, because I don't know how to do that, and you asked me to do it earlier, and I was like, yeah, but.
Okay, so there's our YouTube and our Facebook. If you want to jump on and follow, subscribe, like, and all that kind of jazz. Again, I can't thank you enough. I love you very much. And again, I want to say thank you to Rob as well for setting up the scene of a bloodbath for me to kind of deal with.
Yeah.
Big love. See you next week. And as usual, keep playing role-playing games. Please keep planning heists against your landlord and have fun and stay safe. See you later.
Consider taking up smoking as well.